Chapter 1219. This. In the venue, all the dragon race experts gasped. The new Azure Dragon King actually managed to hold back the three princes and even beat Prince Xuanzhen to the point of vomiting blood. In the vast sea, Prince Wanhua and the others were shocked and sighed. In terms of overall strength, Prince Xuanzhen was indeed slightly ahead of the three princes. He had a perfect offense and defense. Having so many perfect god arts is indeed very powerful. If we were the same level, I wouldn't be able to do anything to you other than using the absolute life and death rune. Lin Shen's battle-intent sword. He spun his dragon spear and threw it out with 12 billion dragon power points. Sky prison armor. Prince Xuanzhen's dragon eyes trembled. He activated all the earth element odd crystals and condensed them into a rock-earth dragon armor that flowed with hellish crimson dragon aura. It was like a ball of dragon aura that covered his dragon body, forming the strongest defense. System, activate Sovereign's Descent. This Sovereign's Descent was the final killing move that Lin Shen had accumulated from the Sky Barbarian plane. Sovereign's Descent has been activated. The host Bloodline God art attack has been increased by 3 times. The might of the 10,000 behemoth dragon's spear skyrocketed as it split into 5. All the princes and princesses felt their scalps tingle. They smelled the scent of death from the 5 dragon spears. Poochie. Rip. When the sonic boom sounded, the 5 dragon spears pierced through Prince Xuanzhen's strongest defense. The sky prison armor that could withstand the attack of an early-stage 4th Heaven Sage was pierced through by the 5 dragon spears. His dragon scales cracked, and his flesh and blood were torn apart. The girl in green covered her red lips with her hand, and her beautiful eyes were filled with unconcealable shock. This is too powerful. That's the sky prison armor. It's one of the best defensive god arts recorded in the primordial dragon race, but it was pierced by Ing Bang Bang. The black-haired girl was shocked, and her heart trembled. What a fierce dragon spear! Sovereign's Descent plus instant light split shadow. The power of this spear was the highest destructive power in all the battles in the giant whale plain. Dragon blood gushed out like a fountain. Crown Prince Xuanzhen was both frightened and angry. How can I lose to someone like you, who temporarily borrowed power? His dragon body fell to the ground, burning with green flames of vitality. It was as if some life-saving sacred object was protecting his lifeline, so his life was not in danger. With a flap of the Holy Phoenix wings, Lin Shen collected the attribute light balls dropped by Prince Xuanzhen. Just as he was about to follow up with another attack, the vast azure dragon breath inside the holy dragon's body suddenly trembled and gradually dispersed, revealing the crisscrossing dragon veins. Lin Shen's strength started to decline. The heavenly imperial deity ocean ability was about to end. Even the strength of the Azure Dragon Elders was beginning to weaken. Time's up. Looks like killing those fellows blocking the way took a lot more time than expected. Lin Shen glanced at Crown Prince Xuanzhen. Although this guy was on the verge of death, he still had some life-saving trump cards. He could still maintain his consciousness in Hongyan prison. There's no time to kill this guy. Take away the elders first. With a flap of the Holy Phoenix wings, Lin Shen killed his way into the battlefield. Using his hand as a sword, he repeatedly waved the Azure Dragon Sword. While repelling the Primordial Dragon Tribe elders, he took away the Azure Dragon Tribe members. The Azure Dragon Tribe elders were riddled with wounds. Some were on the verge of death. They were hanging on by their last breath. Primordial Dragon Tribe, let's meet again in the finals. Lin Shen laughed domineeringly. He led the Azure Dragon Tribe members and retreated. He had the effect of the purple dragon pearl. Almost no one could track his aura. In less than 10 breaths, all the Primordial Dragon Tribe elders lost Lin Shen. The elders immediately supported the 4 princes and worked together to destroy 5 Hongyan prisons. Their expressions were extremely ugly. Today's battle was like nailing them to the pillar of shame. They were held back by an azure dragon that could not even be considered a primordial dragon. They were even suppressed to the point of flying. The 10,000 Dragons Assembly's examination was open to the entire dragon tribe. In other words, their miserable appearances were all seen by their own clansmen. Some of the princes who had retreated to watch the battle were currently looking at the messy, vast ocean with twitching mouths. The one who benefited the most this time was undoubtedly the Azure Dragon tribe. They had killed many of the Dragon Penitentiary's prisoners, primordial dragons, and even primordial dragons. In the outside world, there was no such rare opportunity. The Azure Dragon tribe killed their way to the main battlefield. The Dragon Penitentiary's prisoners, who were already in a bad state due to the battle, were basically wiped out after encountering the Azure Dragon tribe. They had accumulated an unknown amount of dragon sacrifice points. Giant Whale Plain, Far East region. Dreamy, illusory dragon aura swept across the sky. It was like streaks of shadow, burial, instant kill, colliding with the dark light that covered the sky time and time again. For hours later, in the Far East region, a figure quickly retreated. It was Ji Xiaochuan of the Shadow Burial Illusionary Dragon Tribe. His handsome and devilish face was as pale as paper. The corners of his mouth twitched. As expected, you also know this secret. A beautiful figure rose into the sky. It was young Anren. She was holding a glazed crystal in her hand. There were blood-red veins on it, as if it was a living thing. It was extremely strange. She sneered coldly and cruelly. The heart of the giant whale has long been recorded by the dark heavenly dragon tribe. It's not up to you to get it. If you hadn't cultivated your tribe's shadow, burial, 1,000 illusions, you would have died here today. Ji Xiaochuan's expression was ugly. You came to snatch the heart of the giant whale. Aren't you afraid that you won't have enough dragon sacrifice points? Young Anren put away the heart of the giant whale and said confidently, "My people have already gone out to collect it. Naturally, it's not up to me to worry about it." Ji Xiaochuan looked at her deeply. It seems that the dark heavenly dragon tribe is determined to become the king of myriad dragons this time. She suddenly broke into a smile. The primordial dragons haven't been completely unified for 100,000 years. There should be a true great dragon king to unify the dragons and merge them into the primordial dragons. Ji Xiaochuan's pupils shrank. Her ambition was actually so great. Haha, damn, this is great. This is too great. I've never felt so good in my life. Those primordial and primordial dragons who looked down on us were all beaten up by us. It's worth it even if we die. The Azure Dragon elders were injured and left. Their faces were pale, but they were in high spirits and carefree. Lin Shun flicked his finger, and many long kingwo shot into the elders' mouths. During the retreat, Lin Shin's strength gradually decreased, and he finally returned to his original cultivation level. He brought the elders and retreated to a valley. There were no enemies in a radius of hundreds of kilometers, so they could safely recuperate. The elders bore the temporary power boost of the heavenly defense divine ocean. Their dragon veins were slightly damaged, and their chi and blood were half depleted. However, they could recover with time, and their foundation would not be affected. They were more worried about the new king in front of them. The new king had personally used such a powerful ability by exploding his veins. If it was light, his cultivation level would regress, and if it was heavy, it would be difficult for him to advance in the future. However, the elders expected the new king to be on the verge of death did not appear. The Azure Dragon race watched helplessly as their new king was full of vigor, as if he had eaten aphrodisiac. Awesome, awesome, haha. I've gained everything this time. This handsome guy could be unrestrained again. Lin Shun laughed into the sky. His attributes soared to a terrifying level. Even the mighty figures of the dragon race who had been watching the battle stared at each other, as if they had seen a ghost. It must be fake, right? They had witnessed Bang Bang's exploding veins with their own eyes. Why did he look like nothing had happened? Was he experiencing terminal lucidity? Or had the world gone crazy? Chapter 1220. It wasn't that Lin Shin didn't explode his meridians. but that the blood essence he obtained after exploding his meridians had soared too quickly. His damaged dragon meridians had been nourished and repaired, far surpassing the previous time. With 12 billion dragon energy points, Lin Shun had killed at least 200 criminals in the Draconic Penitentiary. This was a terrifying number. When these criminals were at their peak, they were comparable to 4th-level true saints. When they died at Lin Shen's hands, the amount of blood essence they lost would only be more. Not to mention, Lin Shen had also killed a large number of primordial dragon tribe elders who had tried to kill him and the Azure Dragon tribe. The dead and injured had all died, but the blood essence he had gained was even more. It seems like we've underestimated him. This kid is too monstrous. He's completely fine after exploding his meridians. This daddy here is convinced. He was so close just now. If he hadn't saved the Azure Dragon tribe members and had pursued them, the Xianjin brat from the Dragon tribe might have died at his hands. Just watch. This daddy here said that this kid can't be predicted with common sense. A new legend of the Dragon tribe is rising. Not necessarily. Let's look at the 3rd and 4th trials. Don't forget that last Yang Anren is a true monster. In the vast sea, the 2nd trial that lasted for a month came to an end the day after the Azure Dragon tribe left, when all the participating teams were teleported back to the myriad dragon gathering grounds. The expressions of the various experts were extremely interesting. This time, only 50% of the participating teams had returned. More than half of the participating dragons had died. This was much more tragic than before. This number was equivalent to 2,000 holy dragons being buried in the giant whale plain. When Lin Shun led the Azure Dragon tribe members into the gathering grounds, no one dared to stop them. His lively appearance was a stark contrast to Crown Prince Xuanjin, who was covered in wounds. Azure Dragon tribe. Crown Prince Xianjun's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. He was wrapped in bandages and herbs as he roared, "Don't think that you can beat this Crown Prince just because you use some dirty tricks. Next, this Crown Prince will make you wish you were dead." "Oh," Lin Chen shrugged playfully. "Can't help it. I'm a person who likes to keep a low profile. I just like to be fierce once or twice. Who knows, maybe I'll be fierce again the next time you challenge me." At this moment, cough, cough, cough. The gray-clothed old woman coughed a few times and said in a firm and powerful tone, "Let me announce the result of the 2nd round. In the 2nd stage, there are 27 teams that have obtained dragon contribution points." What? The many dragon race experts were stunned and almost thought that they had heard wrongly. There were only 27 teams that passed the test. There were 71 teams from the primordial dragon tribe that had entered the 2nd stage. Not even half of the teams had passed. Everyone cast their gazes in the direction of the Azure Dragon tribe. It must be because of Jill Bang Bang. This guy directly beat up the criminals of the Draconic Penitentiary until they were like an iron bucket. Then, in the final battle of the vast sea, he killed until no one dared to stop him. It would be strange if many people passed through. Lin Shun patted the back of the Azure Dragon tribe members. The Azure Dragon tribe members raised their heads and puffed out their chests. Everyone's mouth twitched. This fellow was truly the first person in the Myriad Dragon Assembly to drag so many members of the immemorial dragon race down with his own strength. Number 1 in dragon contribution points, Azure Dragon tribe. Dragon offering points, 25,400. Number 2, Shadow Burial Dragon tribe. Dragon offering points, 10,800. Number 3, Dark Sky Dragon tribe. Dragon offering points, 9,800. Number 4, Myriad Fire Dragon tribe. When the gray-robed old woman read out the rankings, everyone's scalps went numb. More than 20,000 dragon offering points? The difference between the 1st and 2nd place was more than double. What was even more terrifying was that Jill Bang Bang had killed so many dragon tribe members. There were more than 20,000 of them. Killing a participant would result in a loss of 50 dragon offering points. Those who have passed and those who do not have enough dragon offering points to pass the test will go to the dragon altar to choose a team to enter the 3rd stage. Teams with more than 100 dragon offering points will receive the title of Honorary Dragon Tribe. They will receive 100 years of support from the dragon tribe, 1,000 years of assessment, the trade coordinates of 3 dragon cities, and the qualification to enter the second level of the Myriad Dragon Palace. Once this was said, many dragon race experts looked at them with envy. After becoming an honorary dragon tribe member, they would no longer be insignificant existences in the dragon tribe. In the long term, they would receive the resources and support of the dragon tribe for 100,000 years. We have become an honorary dragon tribe member. Father, do you see? Mu Tianqing covered her mouth with her hand as tears flowed down her beautiful eyes. Our Azure Dragon tribe is no longer a tribe that can be bullied by others. All the Azure Dragon elders were crying tears of joy. Although they were already mentally prepared, the arrival of this moment still caused them to shed tears of excitement. Lin Shen smiled. Don't be in a hurry to be moved. Our goal is not limited to this, is it not? Lin Shen's words caused all the elders to be stunned. They turned to look at the dragon platform again. When they saw the fluttering Azure Dragon flag, their hearts palpitated. Champion! Perhaps they had come for the glory of the dragon tribe, but this new king who had appeared out of nowhere was only here to win the championship. How many people had such lofty sentiments and boldness in the past and present? The gray-robed old woman's eyes lit up as she said in a deep voice, "Next, I will announce the content of the 3rd stage. Enter the divine dragon's ruins. Fighting is prohibited in the ruins. Those who enter the ruins will receive the totem guidance and bloodline baptism of your dragon ancestors. If you spend more dragon offering points, you can enter the dragon tomb and receive the dragon chi of the dragon ancestors to temper your body. You can even absorb the dragon chi of your ancestors. Every choice requires dragon offering points. This is a treatment that even the highest echelons of the Myriad Dragon Palace do not have the opportunity to receive. Cherish it well. There is no need for assessment for the 3rd stage. It will last for 4 months. Those who pass the time will be automatically teleported out. And after 4 months, all the Dragon Tribe teams that have reached the 3rd stage can send a representative to participate in the representative competition. They can also choose to forfeit. The top 10 representatives will receive generous rewards, and the first place of the representative competition will be this year's king of 10,000 dragons. Lin Shun stroked his chin and said with great satisfaction, King of 10,000 dragons, this is worthy of my holy dragon. I was forced to become a god in the human race. No matter what, I can't return empty-handed from the dragon tribe. The king of 10,000 dragons, it will be this one. The gray-robed old woman turned her head and exchanged glances with the other dragon tribe mighty figures. All the mighty figures stood up and stepped into the arena. The mighty figures of the dragon tribe stood together with their eyes closed. As if they had received an order, when they opened their eyes again, they quickly made hand seals, cut their fingertips, and formed hand seals with their dragon blood. At this moment, the atmosphere in the arena became solemn and serious. Boom! A giant spatial door opened again, and a desolate aura swept out. An ancient and desolate aura descended on the Myriad Dragon Arena. It was so ancient that it made one's heart palpitate, and it seeped out from the giant door. It was as if there was a boundless history behind the giant door. Chen Xie solemnly announced, "The divine dragon ruins have been opened. The dragon offering points for entering the ruins have been automatically deducted. As for the teams that have not reached the quota, head to the dragon platform to confirm the candidates before coming back." Everyone looked at each other and entered the divine dragon ruins one after another. Lin Shen's heartbeat quietly quickened. The ancient Taishi dragon bloodline was finally settled. At this moment, an old voice secretly transmitted to Lin Shen. "Ing bang bang, come here for a while." Lin Shen was stunned, and his mouth twitched slightly. F*CK. At this juncture, which bastard is calling me handsome? I've already taken off my pants, and I'm about to break through the hole. King wanted to go over. Chapter 1221. Lin Ming resisted the urge to charge out of the cave and calmly turned around to look at the venue. A white-robed figure walked over. It was one of the mighty figures of the dragon race, Chun Xie. He smiled and said, "Little fellow, the one who sent you a voice transmission was a high-level figure. He wants to recruit you. Perhaps you can meet him after the 10,000 Dragons conference ends." Chun Xie handed Lin Chen a scroll. Lin Chen secretly let out a sigh of relief. He thought that something bad had happened. After all, he had used so many trump cards at the 10,000 Dragons conference. The slowing rune and other methods were not trump cards that the dragon race should have. Fortunately, these mighty figures did not ask about it. At their level, there were very few things that could move them. Very few would covet the secrets of the young dragon race. If every mighty figure was like this, then the new blood of the dragon race would be strangled. All right, thank you for your appreciation. Lin Shen took the scroll. Chun Xie could not help but ask curiously, "Little fellow, if you don't participate in the fourth test, your life will not be in danger. In the third test, you are in the most danger. Although your multiple bloodlines are an advantage, you should know that once the quality of your bloodline increases, it will be harder to control. It is very likely that your body will explode and you will die. You should be very clear about this problem." At the mention of this, a childlike innocence appeared on this old monster's face. He said in all seriousness, "Can you tell me how confident you are in controlling the multiple bloodlines you are about to upgrade? Don't worry, I won't reveal your foundation." Lin Chun was stunned. How confident? He really hadn't thought of this before. His main goal was the ancient Taishi dragon bloodline. His second goal was to increase the quality of his current bloodline. In addition, he had the Heavenly Path attribute picking system. The problem of merging bloodlines had never existed before. This problem that seemed extremely difficult from the perspective of ordinary powerhouses was not a problem for him. Lin Chun pretended to be troubled. He could not tell him everything. Was he absolutely confident that he could control it? Then wouldn't he be captured by those powerful beings for research? Seeing that Lin Chun was in a difficult position, Chun Xie suddenly bent down and picked up an item. He smiled and said, "Aya, little brothering Bang Bang, why are you so careless? Look, you dropped your storage ring." Lin Chun immediately accepted the storage ring and transmitted his voice with a serious expression. "I'll be honest with you, Senior, I only have a 30% chance of success." Sigh. If it weren't for the fact that a handsome King fortune teller told me that I would be able to find a great opportunity in the face of death, I wouldn't have dared to come here. This time, I came here with the mentality that I will die. As the saying goes, if I don't enter hell, who will? The end of cultivation is to go against the current and challenge life and death. Before Lin Chen could finish, the corner of Chun Xie's mouth trembled. 30%? Lin Chen's heart skipped a beat. Mother Faster's cur, it was too low. Such high confidence. You still have a trick up your sleeve. Chun Xie exclaimed. Lin Chen wiped the sweat off his forehead. Well, keep a low profile. Lin Chun gave him a look. Chun Xie winked. Yes, I know. Lin Chun waved his hand and led the Green Dragon tribe into the entrance of the Divine Dragon ruins. The space changed, and Lin Chun and the others were transferred to a dilapidated ruin. It was dilapidated, fallen, and ancient. The stone pillars that stood up were broken, the ground was cracked, the sky was gray, and there was no life at all. It was as if they had arrived at the beginning of time. When all the dragons arrived here, their cultivation was instantly sealed, and they could not use any of their power. When even their spiritual perception was sealed, Lin Chun was shocked. However, when he realized that his slow rune and other tricks were still available, he calmed down a little. With the runes and talents, at least he was not completely defenseless. Everyone looked around and realized that there was a group of totem dragon pillars in front of the ruin. Everyone was on guard against each other. After 15 minutes, they walked to the front of the dragon pillars. It was a group of colossal creatures. Each dragon pillar was tens of thousands of feet tall and thousands of feet wide. It was engraved with the words of the dragon race. There were many strange carvings carved on the dragon pillars, and they were filled with the aura of ancient times. The carvings on them moved everyone. Even Lin Shan was the same. He was stunned on the spot. It was as if a historical painting was spread out in front of everyone, causing them to instantly enter the realm of the totem carvings. The carvings had a vast starry sky and an ancient and endless universe. In the universe, there were 9-headed pythons, winged whale sharks, monsters with no eyes and a huge mouth, demons with 3 heads and 6 arms, headless centaurs, horned demons, asuras that covered the sky, and strange creatures that crawled on the continental plates and flew in the sky. They seemed to be the extinct insect race. There was also a group of figures high above, occupying a small part of the totem, and the most numerous was a group of giant dragons flying under the starry sky. The group of giant dragons were in high spirits and had different appearances. Some of them shone with golden light and soared with dragon wings. Some of them had dragon claws that shook the sky like a surging sea. Some of them breathed out and destroyed countless planes. Some of them were unimaginably majestic, as if the light from their dragon scales could cover the entire world. Any creature in the totem seemed to be stronger than all the existences in the world. Lin Shan was very sure that any creature in the totem was countless times stronger than the clear sky Sage King he had met so far. It was like a piece of history that was covered with dust. It was like a piece of civilization that was left behind. It was like a storm that had yet to erupt. It was like a blood song that only had a prelude. Everyone was deeply shocked and silent. The aura that was reflected in the totem was just a wisp of the realm and charm that shocked everyone. The Green Dragon tribe stood on the spot in a daze because they saw the image of their ancestor. It was too majestic. All the dragons seemed to be in it, their consciousness wandering the universe, as if they had returned to an unknown era, following the auspicious feather of the dragon ancestors, following the beginning of the historical era. Only Lin Shan, who was not a member of the dragon tribe, would not be easily attracted by the totem's dragon might. He was the first among everyone present to slowly come back to his senses. At this moment, all the dragons looked up with empty eyes. They were immersed in the history of the totem. Lin Shan walked forward. He walked to the center of the totem. There were even more broken and incomplete totem carvings inside. The system converted the dragon tribe's characters into the human language. Yin-Yang creation divine dragon totem. Extreme hell water divine dragon totem. Peak prison suppressing dragon totem. 9 Nether Yellow Springs dragon totem. Burial shadow illusory dragon totem. Extreme palace thunder divine dragon totem. Suddenly, the tip of Lin Shan's foot seemed to have kicked something. He walked to the center of the totem. There was a stone tablet here covered in dust. He wiped away the dust, and the words on it were twisted like tadpoles. It was not the dragon tribe's words, but a string of human words. Lin Shan could clearly see the words on the stone tablet. I was very afraid that day would come again. Grandfather made a deal with the dragon ancestor. He even asked me to look for them, the people who would appear in that world one day. Grandfather also said that they would shine in that world. I seem to remember their names. I think it was by Qi, Yiwu Shuang, Ling Yin, and one of them was called, oh right, there was one more called Lin Xingchen. Chapter 1222. Lin Xingchen. Lin Chen was stunned. Could it be the same Lin Xingchen that he met on the Island of Darkness? There's a stone tablet with human words in this place where the dragon race's inheritance is spread all over. Lin Chen couldn't understand it. The information revealed by the stone tablet was too one-sided, and he couldn't figure out anything useful. With his strength sealed, Lin Chen couldn't take the stone tablet away, so he might as well leave it here. At this time, the dragon race's experts gradually came back to their senses. New King, why are you here? The green dragon race walked over. I'm here to find this. Lin Shan pointed at the green dragon ancestor's totem and smiled. Lin Shan walked in front of the green dragon totem with everyone, and he placed his jade tablet into the totem. Swoosh! The dragon offer points appeared in the jade tablet, and an ancient thought was transmitted to Lin Shan and the green dragon race. The descendants of my race can use their bloodline to undergo the baptism of their bloodline, and their bloodline grade will change. Or they can continue to consume dragon offer points to enter the dragon's tomb to refine their bloodline. Their bloodline will change, and their strength will increase at the same time. Entering the dragon's tomb will deduct 500 dragon offer points per person. Hearing this thought, the green dragon race's elders quickly said, "Miss, you and the new king can enter the dragon's tomb to refine your bloodline. We can wait here for you." Lin Shen raised his eyebrows and mocked. "What are you doing? Are you looking down on me? All of you, enter the dragon's tomb to refine your body with dragon offer points. If anyone dares to not enter, I will chase you out of the green dragon race." All the elders were moved. 500 dragon offer points. They had to kill 5 vicious criminals in the dragon penitentiary. The green dragon race might have more than 20,000 dragon offer points, but the new king had risked his life to kill them. If the elders were to participate, they would have to risk their lives just to collect 100 dragon offer points. They were already very satisfied that all of them could enter the divine dragon's ruins. The elders could tell who was the main contributor. Now, the new king wanted all of them to enter. If they refused, they would be chased out of the green dragon race. The hearts of the elders trembled as they shed tears of gratitude. "Your Majesty, this..." Tears filled the grand elder's eyes, and he almost dropped to his knees. Lin Shen stopped her and scolded jokingly. "All right, don't be so wishy-washy. You deserve it." If one accepted the baptism of the totem bloodline, only the grade of their bloodline would change. However, if they entered the dragon tomb, not only would their bloodline grade change, their cultivation would also increase. After this experience, the Azure Dragon clan would no longer be that weak dragon clan. Coupled with the benefits that Lin Shen had left for them, it was entirely possible for them to become members of the primordial dragon race in the future. Lin Shen picked 11 people. After deducting 5,500 dragon contribution points from his 24,300 points, the 11 people disappeared under the illumination of the 11 spatial lights. When he opened his eyes again, what entered his eyes was a barren hillside. There was a stone tablet erected on every hillside, and every stone tablet was engraved with profound Dragon Clan characters. Sitting in front of the dragon tablet will allow you to temper your body with dragon chi. An old voice faintly echoed in everyone's consciousness. The Azure Dragon Clan's elder sat in front of the stone tablet with a nervous heart. "That's right." Lin Shen patted Mu Tianqing's shoulder and threw an Azure Dragon Pearl to her. "This is..." Mu Tianqing was puzzled. Lin Shen said with a rare, serious expression, "Drip your blood on this pearl to recognize it as your master. I will help the Azure Dragon Clan upgrade their bloodline. You can take back the grade of this upgraded transformation at any time. I will give you the right to decide their bloodline." Hearing this, the Azure Dragon Clan's elder's expression changed slightly. He could take back the strengthened bloodline of the Azure Dragon Clan at any time. He gave the right to decide to Mu Tianqing. This would prevent the elders from betraying the Azure Dragon Clan in the future. It was the best choice. The Azure Dragon Clan's elder was not surprised by this. The elders who were able to fight until now were the last backbone and hope of the Azure Dragon Clan. They were surprised by the tone of the new king. Could it be that he was going to leave? "Then you?" Mu Tianqing wanted to ask. Lin Shen smiled and did not say anything. He strolled among the many stone tablets. Those attribute light balls scattered around the stone tablets seemed to have sensed something. Within 10 feet of Lin Shen, they quickly flew into his body. Received Ancient Sky Raising Dragon Bloodline Attribute Points. 1,500, 1,300, 2,500. Ancient Sky Raising Dragon as host. Advanced Bloodline of the Ancient Sky Raising Dragon Bloodline. Beginning Bloodline Integration. Lin Shen kept absorbing large amounts of Bloodline Attribute Light Balls. Finally, he sat in front of Stone Tablet and attracted a dragon aura to hover in the air. Boom! As the dragon aura entered his body, Lin Shen's bloodline integration speed became even faster. received ancient sky raising dragon bloodline attribute points. 100,000, 200,000, 120,000. Within Lin Chen's holy dragon body, his flesh and dragon bloodline shone with a new phenomenon. It was like a dense green light, shining brightly and disappearing one dragon rune after another. It was as if a legendary dragon clan history was engraved in his bloodline. Ascension, transformation. The dragon bloodline that was stuck at the bottleneck began to throb slightly, seeing that the new Azure Dragon King had already accepted the dragon aura tempering. The elders looked at each other with mixed feelings. They also sat down cross-legged to accept the inheritance. Although they had not interacted with this new king for long, all the Azure Dragon upper echelons, and even the clansmen had accepted this swift and decisive new king. No one would doubt him as the Dragon King of the Azure Dragon clan. The one with the most complicated feelings was none other than Mu Tianqing. That's the right choice. A person like him shouldn't just be a Dragon King in my Green Dragon tribe. After Mu Tianqing wiped away all the complicated thoughts, she touched the dragon tablet with peace of mind and attracted the ancient dragon aura. Boom! 11 streams of dragon aura began to entrench. The entire Azure Dragon clan, including Lin Shun, all received new changes. This change was unimaginable for other dragons. Even if other dragons could enter the dragon tomb, they would only receive dragon aura tempering and bloodline baptism. However, everyone in the Azure Dragon clan's bloodline was enhancement plus 15. Once their bloodline transformed, they would inherit the enhancement of enhancement level. In other words, their harvest was more than 4 times more than the other primordial dragons who entered the dragon tomb. Time passed quickly. After 20 days, Lin Shun was the first to wake up. As soon as he opened his eyes, a misty green light flashed across Lin Chen's dragon eyes. The green light lingered like a colossal dragon accumulating power, as if it was about to rush out of his body and sweep away the sun, moon, and stars. Lin Shun retracted his bloodline, not knowing whether to laugh or cry under the silver dragon mask. F***CK, my holy dragon didn't break through. The better the foundation of the bloodline, the harder it is to accumulate strength. My strength is still stuck at 800 million dragon veins. Lin Shun had no choice but to open the bloodline column in the system. Congratulations to the host for advancing your bloodline grade. All Azure Dragon bloodline special abilities have been upgraded to either top-notch or perfect grade. You have also awakened a new bloodline special ability, Heavenly Claw. Consumes the power of the dragon veins to burst forth a heaven-shaking dragon claw. The power can cover the sky and earth, and one claw can overturn the stars. Increases the original dragon power's destructive power by 1 to 3 times. And with the power of Dragon Breath, it can tear the opponent's defense apart. Grade, Extraordinary Grade. Extraordinary Grade, Bloodline Special Ability. Lin Chen was moved. He had estimated its power. The perfect grade Bloodline Special Ability was comparable to the human race's orange grade combat skills. Extraordinary Grade? Perhaps it was not just low grade, orange grade. Host Bloodline, Grade. None purple golden eyes, plus 15. Grade, middle grade 4th grade Heavenly Ying Long. Enhancement plus 15. Grade, middle grade 6th grade Hung Yin Sacred Phoenix. Enhancement level plus 15. Grade, middle grade 8th grade Ancient Skyscraping Dragon. Enhancement level plus 15. Middle grade 8th grade Bloodline. Although Lin Chen's strength had not transformed, his Azure Dragon bloodline had a heaven-defying change. In other words, once he used the Azure Dragon race's special ability, the power would undergo an earth-shattering change. If I meet that Crown Prince Xuanzhen again, I don't need to rely on the Heavenly Imperial Divine Ocean. I can beat him until he cries out in pain. Lin Shun felt as if he was in a dream. When he entered the dragon race, his foundation was still weak. Now, with his sacred dragon alone, he was able to compete with the monster genius list in terms of length and thickness. I wonder if those people on the monster genius list who want to mess with me can still do anything when I kill my way back to the 36 domains. Chapter 1223. Legend has it that the ancient sky-raising dragon is the ancestor of the Azure Dragons. All the branches of the Azure Dragon tribe originate from his bloodline. He was a real divine dragon in his prime. My rank 8 bloodline is probably still far from the legendary divine dragon bloodline. However, there shouldn't be many dragon tribe geniuses below rank 9 bloodline who are my match. Lin Shen's rank 8 ancient sky-raising dragon bloodline was plus 15 levels. Overall increase, 410%. Lin Shun was 4 times stronger than the Dragon Crown Prince with rank 8 bloodline. He was almost at the peak of rank 8 bloodline. Lin Shun said thoughtfully as he stood up and surveyed his surroundings. The Azure Dragon tribe members haven't finished yet. Looks like it's because I picked up the attribute points first and allowed my bloodline to enter the fusion state. That's why I'm receiving the dragon energy body tempering faster than everyone else. When the Azure Dragon tribe members received the dragon energy body tempering, their ancient sky-raising dragon bloodline was converted from the ancient sky-raising dragon bloodline. Lin Shun received a wave of bloodline attribute points before receiving the dragon energy body tempering. His bloodline was converted in advance. Then, he received the dragon energy body tempering, which was much faster. Let's go out first and find the Taishi ancient dragon totem. Lin Shen placed the jade token into the stone tablet and teleported away. Spatial light descended, and Lin Shun returned to the divine dragon ruins. The ruins were desolate. There were dragon tribe elders sitting cross-legged in front of the totem, receiving the bloodline baptism. There were also dragon crown princes who had disappeared. They must have been teleported to the dragon tomb. Lin Shun continued to look for the other totems. Each of the totems was so thick that they could be described as small as a mountain. With his strength suppressed, he had to walk for a long time to find a single totem. Luckily, Lin Shun was a man with a system. The system helped Lin Shun identify all the words on the totems. He found the Taishi ancient dragon totem. What was strange was that the Taishi ancient dragon totem was only 1,000 feet tall. It wasn't as majestic as the other totems. Lin Shen stuck the jade token on the totem. Entering the tomb of the Taishi ancient dragon requires 500 dragon contribution points. Apart from the remains of the ancient Taishi dragon, there are no bloodline baptisms or inheritances in the dragon tomb. Please choose carefully. When the old wooden voice sounded out through the jade token, Lin Shen's heart tightened. There's no bloodline baptism or body tempering in the Taishi ancient dragon's tomb. Then wouldn't it be impossible for him to obtain the ancient dragon's bloodline? Not only that, Lin Shen also probed the totems near the ancient dragon. The ancient Aeon dragon, Futian dragon, and the only 2 torch dragon and crimson dragon monuments had not undergone a bloodline baptism. The illumination dragon steel and the crimson dragon steel did not even have a dragon tomb. Only the dragon steels remained. Lin Shun returned to the ancient Taishi dragon totem. We're already here. Could it be that we're still going to give up? Forget it. Let's go in first. After deducting another 500 dragon contribution points, Lin Shun was left with 18,300 dragon contribution points. He was teleported into the tomb of the ancient Taishi dragon. Lin Shun was teleported into a strange mountain. There was nothing around the mountain. The ground was filled with rocks and was filled with a desolate aura. Am I going to die? F***CK. What the hell is this place? Lin Shun was a little anxious. He had spent so much effort to infiltrate the dragon race for the bloodline of the ancient Taishi dragon. Otherwise, the 3 divine dragon blood jades in his hands would be useless. Lin Shun was unwilling to give up. He continued to search and climb the mountain. He was truly crossing mountains and ridges. After walking for a day and a night, Lin Shun discovered a faint light from a hillside. That's the light of an attribute light ball. Lin Shun rushed over excitedly and slid down the hillside. He discovered an attribute light ball in a crack. The light ball was pure gold. It was a color that Lin Shun had never seen before. It was the size of a goose egg. When Lin Shun picked it up, it automatically fused into Lin Shen's body. Host has obtained a new bloodline attribute. Do you want to absorb it? The screen popped up. Lin Shen's heart skipped a beat, and he chose yes. Whoosh! Suddenly, a new bloodline flowed into Lin Shen's body and the divine dragon's dragon vein. This bloodline was ancient and weathered, but it was very weak. Host has obtained the ancient Taishi dragon bloodline attribute. 15 points. Bloodline attribute is too low. Unable to appraise bloodline grade. Lin Shun was shocked. The ancient Taishi dragon bloodline was completed. Lin Shen's consciousness grabbed the new bloodline of the divine dragon and activated it. TSK. Lin Shen's left two fingers vaguely turned into a pure gold dragon claw. It was incomplete. F***CK, only one claw. Lin Shen's mouth twitched slightly. He took out 3 pieces of divine dragon blood jade. When he activated the bloodline, he realized that the divine dragon blood jade actually had a weak reaction. However, because this was the space of the divine dragon ruins, the phenomenon did not erupt. It's working. This bit of ancient dragon bloodline might be thin and can't give me any power, but it can make the divine dragon blood jade react. At least this trip was not in vain. Lin Shan was excited as he continued to search. He searched the nearby mountains for 7 days and only found 2 bloodline attribute light balls in the end. The ancient Taishi dragon bloodline was only 35 points. Pitifully little. Lin Shun could only use it to turn it into a dragon claw. It seemed to be useless. At least the divine dragon blood jade reacted. I should be able to unlock the secret inside when I go out. This trip was not in vain. After comforting himself, Lin Shun activated the jade tablet, teleported back to the divine dragon ruins, and left the dragon's tomb. Under the illumination of the spatial beam, Lin Shun rose into the sky and left. His pupils suddenly trembled. The mountain he had crossed earlier was actually a broken ancient dragon claw. Could this be the ancient Taishi dragon's claw? Just a broken claw and a scale is so vast. What cultivation level did this ancient Taishi dragon have when it was alive? In an instant, Lin Shun was shocked as he was teleported away. When Lin Shun returned to the divine dragon's remnants, a startled thought flashed through his mind. He came to the totem of the ancient Taishi dragon next to the ancient Taishi dragon. The jade tablet was placed on the totem, and the old, wooden voice still told Lin Shun that there was no inheritance or reservation in this dragon's tomb. This ancient Taishi dragon and the ancient Taishi dragon are creatures of the same mysterious level. Under normal circumstances, even if a dragon expert enters, it will be difficult to gain anything. I have the system. Should I try my luck? Lin Shun didn't hesitate for too long and actually chose to enter the dragon tomb of the ancient primeval dragon. In the myriad dragon arena, the experts of various races had yet to leave. To the sacred beasts with long lifespans, a few months was like a few hours. They were waiting for the results of their seclusion. On the arena's high platform, a dozen or so experts gathered together. Every time the bloodline baptism of the totem, there will always be some amazing little fellows who will soar to the sky. Yes, some seemingly ordinary geniuses will suddenly improve by leaps and bounds after receiving guidance from their ancestors. In the past, there was an example of the ancient dragon clan surpassing the primordial dragon clan. I wonder which team has the most bountiful harvest this time. I think it will be the dark sky dragon. That girl, Yang Anren, has obtained the heart of the giant whale from the giant whale plain. I'm afraid that when she comes out of seclusion with the primordial dragon clan's foundation, she will be invincible. Ji Xiaochuan and Prince Xuanjin of the Shadow Burial Mirage Dragon are not simple either. They already have peak grade 7 bloodlines and are half a step away from grade 8. This time, they will definitely break through to grade 8 bloodline. While the experts were talking, Chun Xie put his hands behind his head and whistled. He smiled wickedly and said, "Who knows? Maybe it will be that Ing Bang Bang." Him, an old expert of the ancient dragon clan, sneered. He just used the power of the vast sea to defeat the Dragon Crown Prince. When he comes out of seclusion, the primordial Dragon Clan's Crown Prince will reach a whole new level. This wild brat might even die inside. There will be a huge gap between them. Chen Xie shrugged and did not bother to argue. He just stared at the void with a deep gaze. Suddenly, a sacred dragon elder came to the side of the experts and cupped his fists respectfully. Reporting to the upper echelons, someone wants to see you. Oh, who is it? The gray-clothed old woman asked. The elder who reported the news replied respectfully. It's someone from the illusory Heart Dragon clan. Chapter 1224. When Lin Shun was transmitted into the ancient cosmic dragon's tomb, the space of a dragon tomb was gray and white. Lin Shun floated in the air by himself. He was a bit stunned. How come there wasn't even a single hair here? Did I make a wrong bet? Did I lose 500 dragon contribution points? Space caved in, and Lin Shun fell into layers of space vortexes. When he reappeared, he was in another gray and white space. This is a massive amount of space layers. Lin Shun was shocked. The Battle Emperor could open up a world of space in the mortal world. A saint could open up a small world of space in the sacred boundary. But to create this endless space layer, even a peak ninth heaven saint might not be able to do so. Lin Shun felt as if he had fallen into an endless void. But he didn't panic. With the 10,000 Dragons Guild Jade token in hand, he could be transmitted back to the Divine Dragon Ruins at any time. I didn't come to the wrong place. It should be said that this is the ancient cosmic dragon's tomb. This dragon tomb is located in an endless space. He allowed the space layers to bring him into the endless void. Lin Shun experienced this for a long time. Finally, after tens of thousands of shuttles, a bright light appeared in space. Lin Shun reached out his hand and grasped. This was a dragon scale. It was hundreds of feet long and like a millstone. It was gray and blue in color, as if it were an ancient artifact from a prehistoric civilization. Lin Shun only touched it, and he felt as if he had fallen into an endless vortex of space and time. In that place, time seemed to be frozen. Lin Shun almost lost his consciousness. What a terrifying dragon might. Just a dragon scale has such strength. Unfortunately, I can't take it away. Lin Shun frowned. His storage ring and destiny plant bag were unable to store such a unique object with such formidable dragon might. The system space could only store things related to the system. The gray and blue dragon scale suddenly flowed with an attribute brilliance, entering into Lin Chen's body. Host has obtained a new bloodline attribute. Ancient Cosmic Dragon Bloodline, 30 points. Lin Chen's eyes brightened. Within the Holy Dragon's dragon vein, there was an ancient dragon might that was connected to space and time. But the bloodline was too faint, so it didn't cause too many changes. The second ancient dragon bloodline. When Lin Shun tried to activate the bloodline of the primordial Aeon Dragon, the massive dragon scale actually faintly responded to his call. It rapidly spun in the air, shrinking into a palm-sized dragon scale. If I activate this bloodline, will I be able to take away this dragon scale? Lin Chen's heart trembled. He was an 8th ranked weapon forging master, and his vision was far beyond that of ordinary people. These dragon scales were related to time and space. If they were used to forge weapons, they would definitely have a miraculous effect. The premise was that his forging skills had to be able to use this thing. Continue to wait. Lin Shun stayed in the ancient Aeon Dragon's tomb for another 10 days, allowing Space Shuttle to carry him through hundreds and thousands of planes of space. After that, Lin Shun obtained 3 dragon scales. Each dragon scale had a very small amount of attribute points, adding up to a total of 70 points. After repeatedly staying for 3 days, Lin Shun confirmed that he didn't leave any dragon scales behind and teleported away. This time, Lin Shun came to the dragon totem, but this dragon race didn't have a dragon tomb, and it was the one with the least records of the dragon race, just like the Torch Dragon and Chi Dragon. In the system version 7.0, I can absorb 7 types of bloodlines. Now, I have 6 types of bloodlines: purple golden eyes, heavenly winged dragon, sacred flame phoenix, ancient sky raising dragon, ancient Taishi dragon, and ancient Aeon dragon. I can't use the 2 ancient dragon bloodlines for now. Other than improving the heavenly winged dragon bloodline, I can still absorb another type of bloodline. Lin Chen's eyes lit up. This was the most important time to improve the holy dragon's combat power. Walking among the totems, Lin Chen came to the heavenly winged dragon's ancestor, the extreme hell-watered divine dragon's totem. The jade token was placed inside the totem, and an old voice came. 500 dragon contribution points deducted. Enter dragon tomb. Remaining 17,300 dragon contribution points. Whoosh! Lin Chen disappeared, and the next moment, he appeared above a vast ocean. The ocean's surface was blue, and when Lin Chen looked up, he saw many different types of water-type energy at the bottom of the ocean. Some of the seawater was clear and bright. Some of it was like the nether spring, dark as the abyss, and some of it was like the yellow spring, emitting a yellow aura of death. A stream of water rose and condensed into a dragon head. It opened its mouth and spat out a dragon aura that enveloped Lin Chen. The dragon aura contained a large number of elemental light balls. Lin Chen sat cross-legged on the ocean surface and absorbed the dragon aura. Whoosh! The heavenly winged dragon's bloodline increased rapidly, and the dragon pulse throbbed, emitting a new brilliance. 1 month later, the dragon tomb's ocean surface was turbulent. Unknowingly, a screen popped up in front of Lin Chen. Congratulations, host. Bloodline grade: Extreme Hell Water Dragon Bloodline. Grade: Advanced rank 8, Strengthening plus 15. All winged dragon bloodline special abilities have been upgraded to Pinnacle and Perfect. New bloodline special ability awakened. Extreme Hell Heavenly Prison. Extreme Hell Heavenly Prison. Able to mobilize water-type energy within a certain distance and condense the dragon pulse to create a heavenly prison to trap and kill enemies. Able to summon blue waves, dragon breath, splitting blade, and many other attacks. The prison is impenetrable both inside and outside. The only way to break it is through elemental restraint. If activated in a dimension with sufficient water-type energy, the entire dimension can be turned into a heavenly prison. Grade: Extraordinary. He had obtained another extraordinary divine ability. Bam! 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 Lin Chen opened his eyes and saw a series of explosions on the ocean's surface. His strength was sealed in the divine dragon's ruin. So powerful. The holy dragon's control of water-type energy has increased by several levels. Even if my cultivation is sealed, I can still detonate the water-type energy nearby with just a thought. Lin Chen was shocked. If the winged dragon was the king of water-type dire beasts, then the extreme hell water dragon is the absolute overlord. Any water-type technique is useless in front of my holy dragon. Lin Chen looked around at the dragon pulse again. After being tempered by the dragon aura, he finally broke through 850 million dragon pulses. 5 billion dragon power points. The holy dragon had entered the ranks of the quasi-rank 8 mid-holy beast. Next, it only needed to accumulate enough to enter the mid-rank 8 mid-holy beast. Lin Chen teleported away again and returned to the divine dragon's ruin. At this time, he discovered that many dragon race experts had already left. They had already completed the bloodline baptism. My holy dragon can still choose a bloodline. At this moment, Lin Chen laughed very coquettishly. His holy dragon had both attack and defense. Even if its speed was not the best, it was enough. However, he could still inherit another bloodline. If this bloodline there was a type of dragon race that was very strong. It was very suitable for Marshal Lin. Inside the myriad dragon arena, many of the participating dragon race members had already come out of seclusion. This crown prince has received guidance from my ancestor. Ha ha ha! I have already mastered 3 perfect grade special abilities. This time, This crown prince will surpass the primordial dragon race in the 4th round. Very good. The dragon aura tempering my body has helped my pure strength break through 5 billion dragon power points. My bloodline has also reached the 7th grade. This crown prince is not afraid of any race's genius. It is indeed, as father said. My bloodline is very compatible with my ancestors' cultivation method. I have also obtained a near-perfect grade special ability. This time, my race will definitely enter the 4th round of the myriad dragon meet. The various crown princes' fighting spirit was ignited. They had all obtained the bloodline baptism of the divine dragon totem or obtained great fortuitous opportunities in the dragon tomb. All of them had a qualitative leap. Boom! At this moment, a team descended from the sky. Everyone focused their eyes. Generally, the longer one stayed in the divine dragon's ruin, the greater the fortuitous opportunities one would obtain. That team was full of vigor, and their sharpness was restrained. The woman in the lead was valiant and awe-inspiring, like a sonorous rose on the battlefield. It was the green dragon race's Mu Tianqing. When the mighty figures of the dragon race saw the current azure dragon race, their jovial expressions instantly froze. Chapter 1225. The group from the Azure Dragon tribe had all sorts of phenomena. The dragon aura was like the sun and moon in the sky. It was as if they could suppress most experts of the same level with just a gaze. Just by standing there, they gave off a sense of dizziness and a sense of oppression as if the world was spinning. Mu Tianqing's cold and beautiful face had an additional green dragon mark. Her strength had broken through 9 billion dragon power points. The 9 elders all released more than 600 million dragon power points. Some of the elders were even more radiant, returning to their youthful appearances. Their appearances returned to their 30s. Some were handsome and upright. Some were still charming, radiating brilliance in all directions. Among them, the Grand Elder, Second Elder, and Fourth Elder had all advanced to 8 billion dragon power points. Moreover, they were constantly showing signs of breaking through 800 million dragon power points. What was even more terrifying was that their bloodline pressure was stronger than any of the primordial dragon tribes teams. Their dragon power is actually not inferior to the primordial dragon tribes teams. No, in terms of bloodline pressure alone, it's even stronger than the primordial dragon tribes. The elders of the primordial dragon tribe don't have so many abnormal bloodline grades. Many experienced experts of the dragon clan were shocked. The current Azure Dragon tribe was worlds apart from when they first met them. As the gray-robed old woman's heart throbbed, she immediately wiped her eyes with her palm. Her dragon pupils contracted and shot out a few sharp beams of light to scan the Azure Dragon tribe. The next moment, the old woman's expression changed. Our rank 6? The Azure Dragon tribe actually had a rank 6 bloodline. The expressions of the mighty figures of the dragon race were also abnormally solemn. It should be said that they were unprecedentedly serious. However, the next moment, when they carefully scanned every Azure Dragon tribe elder, their expressions changed from solemn to shocked. F***CK. A mighty figure of the dragon race was so frightened that he spat. That mighty figure with a cold face could not help but exclaim, F***CK. How F***king ridiculous is this? This was no longer a level of shock. It was a level of fright. The entire Azure Dragon tribe had a rank 6 bloodline and above. No, it should be said that they were all mid-rank 6. What kind of potential did a rank 6 bloodline have? A rank 1 bloodline belonged to a holy beast and had some potential. However, it was equivalent to a saint and was at the bottom. Those with 2nd to 3rd grade bloodlines would basically become elders of the ancient dragon clan in the future. Once a bloodline reached the 4th grade, it would begin to undergo a qualitative change. Even in the primordial dragon clan, it would be considered a high-end elder. Even in the primordial dragon clan, it would barely be able to make a name for itself. A fifth-grade bloodline was the potential of the ancient Dragon Clan's Dragon King. Sixth-grade bloodline, second only to the ancient Dragon Clan's Dragon King. The ancient Dragon Clan's Dragon Kings were basically all peak rank, 6 bloodline potentials. The geniuses of the primordial dragon race were also at this level. As for those with a 7th-grade bloodline, as long as they were born, they would basically be the strongest prodigy of the primordial dragon tribe. In other words, all of the elders of the Azure Dragon clan would very likely be second only to the Dragon King of the primordial dragon clan in the future. A peak rank, 6 like the great elder of the Azure Dragon, would have a future achievement close to that of the primordial dragon king. What was even more outrageous was that Mu Tianqing's bloodline potential had directly broken through rank 7 and was approaching peak rank 7. Only Prince Xuanjin, who was known as the next successor of the primordial dragon tribe, had the potential to reach the peak of the 7th stage. At first, the Azure Dragon clan's bloodline grade was between rank 2 and rank 3. In the entire Azure Dragon clan, only Mu Tianqing had broken through to peak rank 3. After Lin Chen's bloodline strengthening, all of the elders' bloodline grades had increased by 4 times. They were basically comparable to rank 4 bloodlines, but this was still insufficient in front of the primordial dragon clan. But now, the world had turned upside down. The Azure Dragon clan's bloodline that had advanced to the primordial sky raising dragon bloodline was originally not lower than peak rank 5. This level was enough to be on par with most of the primordial dragon clan's elders. It also inherited the effect of strengthening level plus 15, which was 4 times stronger. A 4-fold increase in the primordial sky raising dragon bloodline and a 4-fold increase in the Azure Dragon bloodline were on completely different levels. It was like having 1 million silver Saint Origin coins quadrupled. It was a completely different concept from having 10 million silver Saint Origin coins quadrupled. I've never seen such a terrifying transformation. In the past, there were also Dragon Clan geniuses who obtained fortuitous encounters after entering the Divine Dragon Relic, and their bloodline grade skyrocketed. But those were extremely rare existences. A whole group of Azure Dragons came? Even if this is a coincidence, it can't be this coincidental. The Azure Dragon clan originally only had a group of Dragon Clan elders with rank 2 and rank 3 bloodlines. They didn't even have a Dragon King with rank 5 bloodline. After declining to such a state, how could they suddenly rebound so terrifyingly? While many Dragon Clan experts were discussing, Chen Xie's eyes lit up. Could it be the doing of the new Azure Dragon King, Ink Bang Bang? The Dragon Clan experts were stunned. Him? Did this young Dragon Clan member really have such heaven-defying means? Just as the Dragon Clan experts were anxiously looking for that figure, they realized that he was not among the Azure Dragon Clan's team. That new Azure Dragon King is not here? This old man knows. That guy must have had multiple bloodline enhancements. His mutated bloodline mixed together, and he couldn't control it, so his body exploded and he died inside. This is what they mean by those who commit iniquity are doomed to destruction. Looks like this guy is just a flash in the pan. I already said that he wouldn't be able to cause any waves. The Dragon Clan experts couldn't help but sneer and mock him. Their hearts were filled with joy, as if they had finally reached the bottom of the cave and felt good. Many of their teams had been eliminated because of Ink Bang Bang, so they couldn't wait to kill this guy. Now, he had finally kicked the bucket. Is the new king really all right? We spent so much time searching the entire ruin, but we didn't seem to see any traces of him. The Grand Elder and the others secretly communicated with each other. He's fine, said Mu Tianqing. She opened the green dragon pearl in her palm, and a bright smile appeared on her cold face. I can feel that he's becoming stronger and stronger. Boom! At this moment, all kinds of powerful auras descended on the venue. The Primordial Dragon Clan's team had returned. Even the top Primordial Dragon Clans, such as the Myriad Fire Dragon Clan, 9 Abyss Dragon Clan, Extreme K, Lightning Dragon Clan, and Wind Saint Wing Dragon Clan had returned. Some of their elders had broken through the shackles and reached 9,000,000,009. 5 billion dragon power points. Some princes and princesses' bloodlines had improved even further, and some are high-grade 7th grade or peak-grade 7th grade. Together with their cultivation that had broken through 900 million dragon power points, their auras were domineering and sharp. As soon as the primordial Dragon Clan's team returned, they suppressed all the other Dragon Clan teams present. Whoosh! A dark yellow beam of light descended, and the young man in the dragon robe laughed wildly. Ha ha! I've received guidance from my ancestors, and my bloodline has broken through to 8th grade. My cultivation has surpassed 1 billion dragon power points. This time, I'd like to see how this Bang Bang dies. It was Crown Prince Xuanjin of the Black Mountain Prison Dragon Clan. The elders and dragon servants of the same type as him had also gained a lot. Some had broken through to high-grade 5th grade bloodlines, and some had even reached 6th grade bloodlines. Hearing his wild laughter, many of the Dragon Crown princes and dragon race experts were shocked. An 8th grade bloodline was rare even in the history of the primordial Dragon Clan. If he didn't die prematurely, he would definitely be a powerful figure in the primordial Dragon Clan in the future. Crown Prince Xuanjin's eyes were like lightning, and he instantly locked onto the Green Dragon Clan in the venue. A terrifying aura instantly suppressed them. Chapter 1226. However, the bloodline suppression didn't appear. The entire Green Dragon tribe blocked Prince Xuanjin's dragon aura. Mu Tianqing even looked at Prince Xuanjin with her cold eyes. The dragon mark between her eyebrows glowed and formed a new dragon aura. She fought against Prince Xuanjin's dragon aura and didn't intend to back down at all. What? The Green Dragon tribe's trash bloodline has evolved to this level? Prince Xuanjin's heart trembled. His expression didn't change, and he still sneered arrogantly. What? Where did your new Green Dragon King go? Is he afraid of death and doesn't dare to show himself? Mu Tianqing had a faint smile on her cold and beautiful face. She said indifferently, "The Dragon King of my clan was just enjoying the scenery in the Divine Dragon Relic and didn't come out. Why would he have stage fright when facing a defeated opponent?" You? Prince Xuanjin was furious, as if salt had been sprinkled on his wound. Mu Tianqing squinted her beautiful eyes. You want to fight? This is the 10,000 Dragons Conference. Private fight? Prince Xuanjin's veins twitched. He glanced at the stage and said with a fake smile, "Green Dragon Tribe, I hope your people don't die in the 4th round." Mu Tianqing smiled. "Thank you for your concern. If we meet Prince Xuanjin, we'll definitely stab your wound a few more times. Our Green Dragon Tribe doesn't have any other skills, but we're especially good at taking out guns." Seeing that Mu Tianqing had angered Crown Prince Xuanjin to the point where he looked like he had eaten *T, the Green Dragon Elder's mouths twitched slightly. His young miss was a fast learner. It had only been a few months, and she had already learned the new king's glib tongue. The Green Dragon tribe returned to the resting area. At this moment, even the powerful beings of the Dragon tribe were confused. Did something really happen to the new Green Dragon King? The Divine Dragon ruins were no longer something they could explore. They only had the right to open the space tunnel. Time flowed by, and another 20 days passed. Fewer and fewer people returned one after another. On the 25th day, even Ji Xiaochuan returned. His aura became even more evil and strange. Even the powerful beings of the Dragon tribe couldn't see through him. On the last 3 days, the 3 people of the Dark Heaven Dragon tribe also appeared. Young Anren, who was in the lead, had restrained her aura as if she didn't improve at all after entering the Divine Dragon ruins. However, the powerful beings of the Dragon tribe all had serious expressions. This woman had already reached an extremely terrifying level. Even the mighty figures couldn't see through her unless they released their dragon chi into her body. However, the atmosphere in the venue became even weirder. The new Azure Dragon King, who had shown brilliantly in the first and second stages of such a difficult test, had actually not appeared yet. The next day, there were still no anomalies in the venue. The time limit for the third stage was almost up. Some of the crown princes and princesses couldn't help but sneer. At the bottom, you'll always be at the bottom. At best, you're just an unorthodox upstart. Come to think of it, he was only able to contend with us in the first and second stages because he took advantage of the uniqueness and characteristics of the test plane. If we were to fight for real, which primordial dragon tribe member wouldn't be able to crush him? It's good that you're dead. Don't come out and annoy people. Doubts, sneers, disdain, and curses filled the entire venue. The elders of the Azure Dragon tribe were a little restless. Only Mu Tianqing was calm, but there was a trace of doubt in her heart. Why hadn't he come out after so long? A princess of the dragon tribe, who wore a veil and a crown but had a cold temperament, stood up. Her lips curled in disdain as she spoke bluntly. Seniors, isn't it an insult to the primordial dragon tribe to make so many of us dragon tribe warriors wait for a lowly dragon tribe member whose life and death are unknown? Why waste time? Why don't you just announce the results? As soon as she said that, there were immediately many voices of agreement. Sigh, looks like we've expected too much from him. The gray-robed old woman sighed and stood up to announce. I announced that the time limit for the third stage is. Before she finished speaking, the young man's laughter echoed in the venue. No matter how fair a girl is, there's always a black part. No matter how sweet a girl is, there's always a salty part. No matter how fragrant a girl is, there's always a fishy part. Just like the one who spoke just now. His skin is white, but his heart is black. His silver robe fluttered, and a person descended from the sky and stepped into the venue. He took off his silver dragon mask and smirked. An ancient dragon tribe princess shyly asked her royal brother, "Royal brother, what did he mean?" Her royal brother said seriously, "He said that his heart is black, and his tears are salty." Then what's fishy? Come to my room tonight, and I'll tell you. Bang Bang didn't die. All the experts present were shocked. You didn't die? The dragon tribe princess from before angrily rebuked. Lin Chen shrugged and said with a teasing smile, "Even a woman as black as you didn't die. How could something happen to me?" The gray-robed old woman and Chun Xia's expressions were very interesting. They couldn't see through Lin Chen's background at all. Good fellow. This kid has a new fortuitous encounter. The gray-robed old woman beamed with joy. At this moment, a red-faced mighty figure's eyes lit up. He wanted to stand up and lock on a Lin Chen's figure, looking like he was going to punish him. What are you doing? Do you want to touch him at this juncture? The gray-robed old woman narrowed her eyes, revealing her killing intent. Chun Xia stood beside the gray-robed old woman and said casually, "If there's anything, it'll have to wait until the 10,000 dragon gathering is over." There was an evil aura surging in his eyes. The red-faced old man sneered. After the 10,000 dragon gathering, the upper echelons will decide. The gray-robed old woman announced, "Since the last participant has returned, the 10,000 dragon gathering will officially enter the fourth stage. The representative competition. Please send a representative to participate in the representative competition." The gray-robed old woman flipped her palm, and countless arrow tokens shot into the venue. Each clan immediately sent a representative to enter the venue and draw lots. The number of people was not too many, not too few, exactly 32 people. Representatives of each clan. The rules of the representative competition are very simple. Fight until the other party surrenders or can no longer fight. Life and death are up to fate. If you choose not to surrender and fight to the death, you will have to bear the consequences. All methods are prohibited in this representative competition, and only the methods of the dragon tribe can be used. Those who draw the same token enter. The gray-robed old woman waved her sleeve, and the representatives turned into streaks of light and disappeared. Shwa shwa shwa. Hundreds of screens appeared, and the dragon tribe representatives of the fourth stage were teleported to a new battle plane. Everyone stared at the hundreds of screens without blinking. The new Azure Dragon King Ing Bang Bang's opponent was the Dragon Tribe Princess of the Nine Abyss Yellow Springs Dragon Tribe, the woman who suggested that the third stage end faster. Enemies on a narrow road. Oh, you want this princess to deal with you? You've been annoying since the first stage. You're just a stray dog born out of nowhere, yet you dare to challenge me? Die for this princess. The Nine Abyss Princess coldly smiled. Her shoulders shook, and dragon chi erupted from her body, bursting forth with an imposing aura that could swallow mountains and rivers. Streams of Yellow Springs' draconic aura swept over with toppling mountains and overturning seas. They coiled around the ninth Nether Princess like galloping horses and dancing dragons, causing the entire plane to tremble. This woman also has a 7th grade bloodline and 8 billion dragon chi points. She's catching up to the human race's monstrous genius rankings. The ancient dragon tribe's princess, Lin Shen, smiled playfully, revealing his sharpness. I want to see how dark she is. Chapter 12:27. The pride of the primordial dragon race was engraved in their bones, and they were innately superior to other living beings. None of the princesses or princes of the primordial dragon race could accept the new Azure Dragon King taking the top spot. This was a slap to the primordial dragon race's face. Princess Nine Nether grabbed with her hand, and the dragon breath turned into a sword that pierced straight into the Yellow Springs. 6 odd crystals flickered and injected the powerful dragon breath into the sword. Princess Nine Nether held the sword, and a hellish aura surged and gathered as she slashed at Lin Shen. Yellow Springs 9 slash. Rumble. The surging aura of the 9 underworld's Yellow Springs was like 10,000 horses galloping, slightly scattering a wisp of dragon breath. It sank into 1,000 mountains, shattered mountains and rivers, and condensed into a vast heavenly river that slashed towards Lin Shen. The sword light scattered, and there was a hidden killing intent. This attack had exceeded the scope of the third Heaven Sage realm. Lin Shen raised his hand and activated the water-type odd crystal. His fingertips swiped across the air. Buzz! A blue dragon light flashed. Rip! Bang! The dragon's breath exploded and was sliced into 2 halves. Even the hidden killing intent was shattered. What? All the mighty figures were shocked. The perfect divine ability of the primordial dragon race's princess was torn apart by his finger, just like that. Princess Nine Nether's expression changed, and a hand reached out and grabbed the princess's slender leg. So fast. When did he get close to her? While everyone exclaimed, Lin Shen smiled sinisterly. Let me see how dark you are. Lin Shen lifted Princess Nine Nether up and smashed her onto the ground. Bang! Princess Nine Nether was thrown in an arc like a shooting star, and the impact caused the ground to crack as blood flowed from the corner of her lips. Her beautiful eyes trembled as she realized that in Bang Bang's previous position was actually an afterimage. I didn't even notice when he moved. Princess Nine Nether was shocked when she dodged. Boom! At this moment, a winding dragon tail appeared in the sky, rolling with a sky-shaking azure light. The dragon tail swung, and pure energy condensed into an azure sword that slashed down fiercely. At this moment, the aura of Lin Shen's holy dragon leaked out. His entire body thundered with thunderous roars, filled with the power of ancient times. Each dragon vein seemed to contain hundreds of dragons. 10 billion dragon power points. Princess Nine Nether gritted her teeth and sucked on her blood. She twisted her body and transformed into the 9 Nether Yellow Springs dragon, which was thousands of feet long. Rolling and changing the deathly aura of the Yellow Springs, she charged forward. Death of the Underworld. Transforming the dragon body into a primordial strike. This move was even more powerful than the previous divine ability. However, rip, boom. With the crisp sound of a sword slashing through the air, the azure dragon light cut through the dragon's scales. The dragon's skin split open, and the dragon's blood gushed out violently. A few attribute light balls dropped. Princess Nine Nether let out a blood-curdling scream. A section of her dragon limb had been severed. The two's attacks were not on the same level at all. Even Lin Chen's instant light split shadows was useless. The Azure Dragon Sword cut through Princess Nine Nether's attack. After transforming into the extreme hell water dragon bloodline, Lin Chen's Holy Dragon Azure Dragon Sword had soared to the perfect level, comparable to an orange-grade cultivation technique. You surrender. In the seats, a few experts of the dragon race suddenly shouted. Lin Shun pressed down on Princess Nine Nether's dragon head with one hand. Her dragon eyes shone with horror as she screamed, "I surrender!" Whoosh! Lin Chen's jade tablet lit up, representing that he had advanced to the next round. The myriad dragon arena was dead silent. Insta-kill. He suppressed a primordial dragon race princess in just a few moves, and he didn't even show his dragon body. He was so strong that it defied the heavens. Can he really win the championship? Everyone looked at the Azure Dragon flag on the stage in unison and shuddered. The rise of the Azure Dragon race was unstoppable. Even if they couldn't win the championship in the end, the current Azure Dragon race already had the foundation of the primordial dragon race. In fact, with this new king, becoming the primordial dragon race in the future was not an exaggeration. Received 200 million high-grade health points, 10,000 heavenly Dao points, 20,000 talent points, for 1,000 wind elemental energy points, 200 million battle aura essences. Lin Shen easily took the attribute ball dropped by Princess Nine Nether and smiled faintly. What a pity. If there's a next time, I'll just swallow your dragon core directly. Princess Nine Nether's dragon body trembled, and her dragon eyes were filled with deep fear. In the instant when they exchanged blows, she felt that this new Azure Dragon King's bloodline suppression was far superior to hers. It was even completely suppressed. Is he a rank? 8 bloodline? Princess Nine Nether's heart trembled. She hurriedly left the battle plane and quickly healed her injuries. He made it through. This kid's multiple bloodlines have undergone a new transformation. Chen Xie's eyes shone brightly. It should be the skyward winged dragon that transformed into the extreme hell water dragon. He's the descendant of the extreme hell water divine dragon. Moreover, I can't even see through this kid's bloodline grade. Indeed, one who survives a great disaster is bound to have good fortune in the future. The gray-robed old woman clicked her tongue in wonder. Not only did this kid not die in the 3rd stage of the Divine Dragon's relic, but he also obtained a shocking fortuitous encounter. Just this descendant of the Water Divine Dragon's bloodline alone was enough to earn him the favor of the higher-ups. Not only the Azure Dragon race, but also the Shadow Burial Dragon race, the Myriad Fire Dragon race, the Sacred Wind Winged Dragon race, the Yin-Yang Creation Dragon race, the Dark Mountain Prison Dragon race, the Extreme K Lightning Dragon race, and the Dark Sky Dragon race. All of them had broken through to a new realm and crushed their opponents in a short period of time. The top 16 of 32 was completed in one day. The second round of the representative competition was immediately followed. When the results of the draw were announced, it attracted the attention of many people. The top prodigies of each race finally welcomed a head-on battle. The Shadow Burial Dragon race versus the Sacred Wind Winged Dragon race. The Extreme K Lightning Dragon race versus the Dark Sky Dragon race. The Myriad Fire Dragon race versus the Yin-Yang Creation Dragon race. And the Myriad Azure Dragon race versus the Dark Mountain Prison Dragon race. The new king of the Azure Dragon race versus Crown Prince Xuanjin? Ha ha ha. I'm afraid they'll have to count the old and new grudges together. I heard that Crown Prince Xuanjin even passed by the Azure Dragon race's territory and wanted to sleep with the princess of the Azure Dragon race. In the end, a new king appeared out of nowhere. Heh, who's better between the two of them? I bet Crown Prince Xuanjin has an 8th grade bloodline and looks down on everyone. He even broke through to become a mid-grade holy beast. He'll have no problem suppressing Ing Bang Bang. The elites of each race raised their heads in anticipation. None of the battles were to be missed. In the battle plane, Two powerful auras collided with each other like angry dragons. Torrents poured down from the mountains, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. Before the battle even started, they were already fighting. The dark clouds were about to collapse, and the two of them hovered in the air. Crown Prince Xuanjin looked calm, but his dragon eyes flashed with cruel and crazy killing intent as he sneered. Ing bang bang, there's no gravity suppression this time, and there's no vast sea. I'll make you wish you were dead. Lin Chen smiled. Don't worry, I'll be fine. If I can beat you up once, I can beat you up twice. Despicable thing, Dai. Crown Prince Xuanjin swung his arms, and profound yellow dragon scales flashed on his arms. They all transformed into dragon claws that were hundreds of feet long and slashed toward Lin Chun. Boom! The dragon claws tore through the void, causing space to disintegrate and light to distort as they attacked Lin Chun from both sides. It was like two majestic comets colliding in the sky. Countless dragon patterns appeared on the profound yellow dragon scales, emitting a mighty force that could destroy mountains, rivers, sun, and moon. Bang! A mushroom cloud exploded between the claws with a lightning-fast slap. The spatial crystal walls cracked inch by inch, and it was a shocking sight. Some of the elites in the venue were horrified. The pure strength of this attack exceeded 12 billion dragon power points. Crown Prince Xuanjin still had a trick up his sleeve. His strength was more than 10 billion dragon power points. If this palm strike had landed on a mortal plane, it would have been able to punch a hole through a continent that could hold 1 trillion people. The new Azure Dragon King is going to lose. The same thought flashed across the elite's minds at the same time. Chapter 1228. Prince Xuanjin's 12 billion dragon power points are overwhelming, and he also has an 8th grade bloodline. This kid is going to beat him with his head. A red-faced dragon sneered. He had some ties with the Red Dragon race, and the Red Dragon race had been eliminated by the Green Dragon race. He had long wanted a deal with Lin Chun. Bang! Prince Xuanjin's strongest attack pierced through the dimension. Just as the new Green Dragon King was about to lose, the weather changed. Boom! Prince Xuanjin's dragon claw was bounced away, and he had to take more than 10 steps to stabilize himself. His face was full of shock. Kidney deficiency, sometimes after overwork. Prince Xuanjin, you didn't use any strength. The young man smiled and said, if a man's waist is weak, he has to use the kidney treasure. It's specially made by Black Horse to treat kidney deficiency. It doesn't contain sugar, and 1 segment is better than 6. In the 10,000 Dragons Guild, I only look at the new Green Dragon King. No injuries? The Black Mountain Prison Dragon elders' mouths twitched, and their eyeballs almost fell to the ground. The Black Mountain Prison Dragon race specialized in defense. Even dragons of the same level as Prince Xuanjin would find it difficult to escape unscathed. This guy's cultivation was even weaker, and he was uninjured. Empty bravado. Die for this prince. Prince Xuanjin's shoulders shook, and his dragon aura shone. Stepping on a streak of dragon chi, he shuttled through 1,000 miles and charged in front of Lin Chun. His dragon arm turned into black-yellow dragon scales, and the primordial dragon roar came crashing down like a hammer. Lin Chun flipped his palm, and his 5 fingers burst out with the power to crush a meteor. He attacked Prince Xuanjin head-on. Bang! 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 The two of them clashed, and their fists and palms collided. It was a head-on collision. 10 billion dragon power points against 12 billion dragon power points. Lin Chun had cultivated the 7 ultimate force before, and the pure power he used to control the holy dragon was extremely exquisite. Prince Xuanjin had a strong foundation, and every attack was like a star with the primordial ancient prison dragon energy. The close combat between the two of them was like a collision of comets. Every punch and kick was as powerful as an excellent or even a top-tier divine ability. Crown Prince Xuanjin's leg was as sharp as a blade. His dragon chi surged as he kicked Lin Chen's waist. As if he had expected this, Lin Chen leaped and dodged the whip. He turned around and aimed a palm strike at the top of his head. Crown Prince Xuanjin reacted quickly and punched towards the sky. His fist and palm exploded, causing a space storm to form. The rays of light were distorted, and a wisp of purplish-red phoenix flames flapped within the storm. The fist wind was like a furious dragon soaring into the sky as it struck toward Crown Prince Xuanjin's chin. Crown Prince Xuanjin's dragon eyes trembled slightly. He raised his hand and struck out with his elbow at lightning speed. The wind from his fist exploded furiously, causing the spatial crystal wall to shatter inch by inch. Another fist, like a crescent moon, was aimed at the left side of Crown Prince Xuanjin's face. He was forced to transform his dragon scales and raise his hand to block the punch. The fist wind pierced through the void, and its might was like a volcanic eruption. Draconic chi surged, and Lin Chen appeared in front of him, smiling evilly. "Let me help you train your kidneys." This new Azure Dragon King's attack was like an unstoppable raging wave. A knee strike that smashed through the Earth meridians was aimed at Crown Prince Xuanjin's kidney area. Crown Prince Xuanjin's expression changed slightly. This attack was ready to be launched, and he was caught off guard. He could only use his dragon claws. Boom! The dragon claws blocked Lin Chen's brutal knee strike. The remaining force spread in all directions, crushing the air currents and forming storm-like vortexes that wreaked havoc around the two of them. At that moment, Lin Chen raised his head and used it as a hammer, smashing it toward Crown Prince Xuanjin's handsome and cold face. Bang! A terrifying explosion that resembled the collision of the sun and the moon rose from the center of the two of them, causing many dragon experts' scalps to go numb. What kind of F***king fighting method is this? Using your head to hit him directly? If you were stronger than him, you might have a chance to hit him with your head. However, you are weaker than him by an entire 2 billion dragon power points. The corners of the red-faced, mighty figure's mouth twitched slightly. He was really using his head to hit him. Crown Prince Xuanjin's consciousness was blurry from the impact. He flew backward, blood flowing from his nose, and fell like a meteor. That wasn't just pure strength. There was also a spiritual impact. This kid is really scheming. Crown Prince Xuanjin's consciousness was slightly blurry before he woke up. His nose was dented from the impact. On the other hand, apart from a wisp of smoke rising from his forehead and leaving a mark, the new Azure Dragon King was completely fine and lively. Something was not right. Why was he so tough? Even the mighty figures of the dragon race were puzzled. The two of them had clashed for hundreds of rounds. Why was Crown Prince Xuanjin at a disadvantage and even injured? Even if they had the same bloodline, the difference in cultivation level of 200 million dragon power points was a fatal gap for geniuses of their level. According to their strength, Bang should have suffered internal injuries from Crown Prince Xuanjin after the two of them fought for such a long time. This kid has transformed from the Tianyu dragon into the extreme hell water dragon bloodline. This bloodline is good at attacking, restraining, and weak at defense. In that melee battle just now, even the extreme hell water dragon, which also has 12 billion dragon power points, is weaker than Crown Prince Xuanjin. The gray-robed old woman was full of doubts. Only Chun Xie seemed to have thought of something terrifying, and his mouth opened slightly. The host has triggered a total of 4 super chaos attacks. It could be activated at any time. The system's hologram popped up. Lin Chen was completely at ease. There seemed to be a strange energy of yin and yang flowing out from the dragon vein, cleansing his entire body. All the internal injuries he had suffered in the previous close combat were completely healed. Good, very good. Crown Prince Xuanjin's face was ferocious. He had thought that after receiving guidance from his ancestor, he would be able to beat this Azure Dragon trash with just his human form after coming out of seclusion. He didn't expect him to grow to this extent. I'm going to use my dragon body to kill you. Bang. Let's see what tricks you can play this time. Crown Prince Xuanjin twisted his body, and dragon scales appeared. He transformed into a giant creature that was more than 500 feet long, with an ancient and dangerous aura. Its head was like a camel, its horns were like a deer, its eyes were like stars, its tongue was like a sword, its mane was like a lion, its neck was like a snake, its belly was like a yellow python, its scales were dark yellow, its palms were like a tiger, and its claws were like an eagle. Its dragon body was surrounded by an illusory dragon chi, as if countless giant dragons were surrounding it. This was a ferocious giant creature that could suppress everything. Chun Xie squinted his eyes, and 6 dragon patterns appeared on his belly. Legend has it that the divine dragon Tianyu Prison Suppressing Dragon has 9 dragon patterns on its belly. This kid's Tianyu Prison Suppressing Dragon has 6 dragon patterns, which is comparable to his father. Yes, if he doesn't die prematurely, he will definitely achieve great things in the future. Chun Xie commented secretly and looked at the new Azure Dragon King again. He was still in his human form. He had no intention of revealing his true form. Revealing his true form to fight can maximize his strength. Is this kid planning to in the battle plane? Azure Dragon Trash, reveal your true form. Crown Prince Xuanzhen roared angrily, and the plane shook. Lin Shan crossed his arms in front of his chest and smiled. True form? Against a loser like you, you are not qualified for me to use my big black dragon. Chapter 1229. Damn it! Who are you looking down on? Prince Xuanzhen roared and charged toward Lin Chun. Lin Chun connected to the system. System, upgrade my super chaos talent. Consumed 1 million mid-grade talent points to upgrade quasi-orange talent, super chaos, to orange grade. Host remaining 1.02 million talent points. Low-grade orange talent, super chaos. Duration of chaos doubled, trigger probability doubled, and holy point, holy vein. Chaos effect added to the original 7 chaos effects. If the enemy falls into the holy point chaos effect, the enemy's connection with 1 or more holy points will be temporarily cut off. If the enemy is a ferocious beast, the connection with part of the holy vein will be cut off. Duration, 5 seconds. Lin Chen's eyes widened, and his aura swept across 3,000 feet, looking down on the world. With 4 orange-gray talents, I don't believe I can't kill you. Prince Xuanzhen's body spun as if he had turned into a storm of dragon breath and charged toward Lin Chun. Primordial heavenly hell aura. Dragon roars sounded as if thousands of dragons were covering the sky. It was as if a calamity from the 18 levels of hell had descended. The storm of dragon breath that was tens of thousands of feet long came together like a storm. Everywhere it passed, light dimmed, and space was distorted into countless vortexes. Perfect grade special ability. The perfect grade special ability that Prince Xuanzhen personally performed was so powerful that it seemed like it was going to turn the entire existential plane upside down. Lin Shan smiled evilly and snapped his fingers. Super Chaos, activate. Boom. A chaotic and violent energy emerged from Prince Xuanzhen's body out of nowhere. He instantly sensed that something was wrong. What is this? He shockingly discovered that his chi and blood were churning, and more than 200 million dragon veins had fallen into a strange state. They were actually twisted into a fried dough twist. Are the dragon veins in knots? What the hell is going on? The dragon veins were in chaos, and the power of the attack was reduced by 20%. Azure Dragon Sword. Lin Shan swung his tail, which turned into a sword and slashed down. Rip! This sword strike slashed apart a myriad of storms, and a sword mark suffused with azure blue waves was slashed out from within the raging and frenzied storms. It was extremely beautiful. Splat! Prince Xuanzhen's scales were even cut open, and blood gushed out. Bang! 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 The gigantic dragon's body seemed to be drunk as it stumbled and crashed into the mountains and earth veins in the plain. It couldn't even stand properly. His consciousness had also become somewhat chaotic. Bloodline breakthrough. Azure Dragon Sword has reached perfect level. With Bloodline plus 15, its power has increased by 410%. It perfectly made up for the lack of cultivation. What kind of concept was a perfect god art with a 410% increase in power? It was equivalent to quadrupling the power of an orange tear technique. Even Lin Chen's God's Tears was only plus 13, with 240% of its power. What happened to this prince's wound? Why is the blood not stopping? When Crown Prince Xuanjin hurriedly swallowed a saint-grade healing treasure, he was shocked to discover that his wounds were unable to heal. Rip! In the blink of an eye, an afterimage slashed over like a knife, and his fist was like a ferocious dragon shaking the sky. Bang! This punch landed right on Crown Prince Xuanjin's wound. Primordial Dragon Tribe? You think the Primordial Dragon Tribe can humiliate others as you wish? Then I'll humiliate you right now. Lin Shun grinned evilly, and the evil aura belonging to the Dragon Tribe was also activated. Every punch exploded with the greatest power. Bang! 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 The wind of the fists rained down on Crown Prince Xuanjin, and the wound on his neck grew larger. The mysterious U-Prison Dragon was proficient in defense. Originally, Crown Prince Xuanjin's wound wasn't too serious. But after being beaten up by Lin Shun and adding oil to the fire, coupled with the effect of extinction, the injury instantly snowballed. Roar! Ing bang bang! I'll F***CK your ancestors. Crown Prince Xuanjin's claw slashed down, and the dragon light burst out. Lin Chen's spiritual perception predicted it in advance and took a step back to dodge. The dragon vein energy surged and crazily poured into the water-type odd crystal. Lin Chun raised his hands. Boom! The endless water-type energy was like a raging sea, covering the entire plain. The entire plain turned into a vast ocean, and the waves swallowed the mountains and rivers. The sky was filled with rolling waves that covered the stars. What? At this moment, everyone at the myriad dragon venue was moved. Using 1 billion dragon veins to use such a magical power, this wasn't a realm that a perfect grade could achieve. So what if you're the crown prince of the primordial dragon race? I'll slaughter you today. Lin Chen's eyes were filled with ferocious and domineering fighting spirit. Swoosh! 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 Countless chains, swords, and spears rose from the sea and surrounded Crown Prince Xuanjin's dragon body. Roar! Damn it, this trash from the green dragon race wants to take my life? With just you? Crown Prince Xuanjin grimaced in anger. From the green dragon race to the first round, the second round, and even now that his strength had skyrocketed, he couldn't take this kid down. If they were both strong enemies from the primordial dragon race, Crown Prince Xuanjin would just lower his stance and admit defeat. There was still a long way to go, so why worry about the opportunity? But facing this Bang Bang, who kept humiliating his pride again and again, he couldn't take it lying down. He wouldn't give up if he didn't fight to the death today. Crown Prince Xuanjin opened his dragon mouth, and the brilliance of the earth-odd crystal circulated all over his body. The brilliance was like clouds, and thousands of dragon lights condensed in his mouth. Crown Prince Xuanjin didn't defend against the countless attacks in the water prison and risked his life to attack Lin Shun. Supreme Mystic Light. Crown Prince Xuanjin's dragon mouth burst forth with a divine light and shot straight at Lin Shun in the sky. The rainbow light crossed the sky, and everywhere it passed, life was extinguished, the tides dried up, the mountains and rivers quietly turned into dust, the blue sky dimmed, and space disintegrated. It was as if everything shone on by this beam of light was disintegrated and annihilated from the inside out. It quickly withered, and even space was nibbled into fragments. Supreme Mystic Light, the Crown Prince has even inherited this magical power. This is a killing move infinitely close to a transcendent grade magical power. The Dragon Elder was shocked, and all the experts' attention was focused on the battle between the two. The rainbow light came extremely quickly and instantly shone on Lin Shun, and he didn't even have a chance to dodge. A green light flashed and dissipated along with the supreme mystic light. Everyone focused their eyes and saw that the new Azure Dragon King's clothes were slowly torn, and the dragon scale patterns on his shoulder left a burn mark. However, he wasn't too injured. All the dragon race experts were dumbfounded. What was going on? How could he block it completely? Only the mighty figures of the dragon race were shocked and shocked. They had seen an incredible scene. What kind of monster are you? Crown Prince Xuanzhen trembled in fear and was dumbfounded. Xuanzhen, surrender. A dragon race mighty figure's voice suddenly exploded in Crown Prince Xuanzhen's ears. Is this your dying counterattack? Then it's my turn. Lin Chun grinned evilly. His 5 fingers rotated slightly, and he clenched his fist tightly. Boom! His heavenly prison suddenly tightened, and all the water energy in the heavenly prison tightly restrained Crown Prince Xuanzhen. Chi-chi! Pa! Crack, crack! Dragon blood splattered, and dragon scales cracked. His flesh was distorted, and his dragon bones were broken. Crown Prince Xuanzhen's dragon body was squeezed into a ball by the water prison. No matter what attack he launched, he couldn't break out of the prison and was almost squeezed into meat paste. I surrender. Crown Prince Xuanzhen finally smelled the fear of death. Just as he was about to surrender, whoosh! Consumed 6,000 rune energy, activated level 7 slowing rune. A grayish-white talisman appeared out of thin air at the location of his dragon head, causing a small space to slow down. His throat and spirit power froze, and he couldn't even shout the word surrender. Lin Chun clenched his fist tightly. Bang! 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 His flesh and blood exploded, and Crown Prince Xuanzhen's huge dragon body was crushed, twisted, and exploded. Hiss! The corners of the dragon race experts' mouths twitched. Dead? The descendant of the future primordial dragon king was crushed. The moment Crown Prince Xuanzhen died, rainbow light shot into the sky, and a 5-light supreme treasure chest dropped. Chapter 1230. Sigh. This guy is really ruthless. The mighty figure of the dragon race who sent a voice transmission to Prince Xuanzhen's side deeply. He wanted to save Prince Xuanzhen so that the dragon race would owe him a favor. However, according to the rules, no one was allowed to enter the battle dimension before the contestant surrendered. Obviously, Prince Xuanzhen had enough time to surrender, but he didn't even wail before he died. Obviously, it was in Bang Bang's doing. The atmosphere in the 10,000 Dragon Arena was particularly strange and silent. Prince Xuanzhen died, and when he counterattacked before he died, he didn't even cause any substantial damage to Bang Bang. He was still challenging someone of a higher level. Was the gap between the two sides so big? However, what drove countless experts crazy was that this Bang Bang was so strong that it didn't make any sense. You knew he was strong, but you couldn't tell what was so strong about him. With such an obvious gap in cultivation, he could still crush Prince Xuanzhen. Prince Xuanzhen is dead. A new Dragon King has appeared. This Bang Bang will become the most powerful challenger of the King of 10,000 Dragons from now on. The power of his last bloodline power is close to the extraordinary level. He hasn't used all his strength yet. As long as he uses all his dragon bloodlines to activate it, it will definitely be a destructive, extraordinary level power. When the mighty figures of the dragon race were shocked, some of the dragon race's experts felt their scalps tingle. An extraordinary level power. It was a bloodline power that was close to the top of the dragon race. Wasn't every extraordinary level power in the hands of the primordial dragon king? This guy had a transcendent level power at such a young age. He had a promising future. However, when Chun Xie spoke, another wave rose before the first wave subsided. An extraordinary level power is only one of the reasons. This guy has a double 8th grade bloodline. He blocked Prince Xuanzhen's bloodline power, which was the perfect bloodline power of the ancient sky-raising dragon. Chun Xie looked straight at the green dragon race and the others. As expected, The green dragon race was able to achieve such an unprecedented transformation not only because of the divine dragon relic, but also because of Ing Bang Bang's intervention. What? Double 8th grade bloodline? Mother of asterisk her. Did this old man hear wrongly? The primordial Skyraiser dragon, the ancestral dragon of the Azure Dragon tribe. This kid actually obtained the legacies of the Extreme Hell Water Divine Dragon and the Primordial Skyraiser Dragon. Is the Azure Dragon tribe really going to win the championship? This guy killed Crown Prince Schwangen. Isn't he afraid that the Dragon King will find trouble with the Green Dragon tribe? Bullshit. With the Azure Dragon tribe's current reputation and the potential of this Ing Bang Bang, even the higher-ups will think highly of them. Who would dare to trip them up? All sorts of shocked and gasping sounds echoed in the Myriad Dragon Assembly Hall. The many Dragon Crown princes and princesses who had yet to participate in the battle instantly felt as though a huge mountain was pressing down on their heads. Crown Prince Schwangen's strength was at least in the top 5 or even top 3 of the Primordial Dragon clan. If even he had lost his life, what about the others? Perhaps only those 2 monsters can deal with him. The quick-witted girl in green stuck out her tongue and looked at Ji Xiaochuan and Yang Anren with her charming eyes. Inside the battle plane, obtained 600 million high-grade blood, 200 million battle chi essence, 20,000 rune energy, 20,000 set essence, 20,000 talent points, 80,000 strengthening points, 12,000 heaven path points, 10,000 high-grade earth energy, 40,000 spiritual power, 20,000 high-grade earth energy. Lin Chen's attributes skyrocketed. The high-grade blood went to the sacred dragon, and the dragon veins opened one after another, increasing by tens of thousands. In the end, the number of dragon veins opened reached 1 billion, and his pure strength soared to 11 billion dragon power. Killing Crown Prince Schwangen gave him more attribute points than an ordinary 4th heaven sage, especially the earth energy. Crown Prince Schwangen refined 7 earth energy crystals and crushed them, giving Lin Chen 460,000 points of earth energy. Inside Qing Shui's plant pouch, all the clones and Lin Chen's main body, the Saint Acupoints in Tai E-Space throbbed slightly due to the large amount of attribute points, and their power increased. Lin Chen had a premonition that as long as he released the sealed acupoint state, his acupoints would definitely explode. His accumulation over the past few months was too strong. If the experts in the outside world knew about this, their jaws would probably drop. They had only heard of battle emperors exploding when they became saints, but they had never heard of first heaven sage breaking through to second heaven. After collecting the attribute light balls, Lin Chen reached out to touch the dazzling 5-light Supreme Treasure Chest. Opened 5-light Supreme Treasure Chest. Obtained Golden Battle God set related item, Ultimate Right Leg Armor Blueprint. Lin Chen was stunned. It was actually a blueprint for the Golden Battle God set. This thing could actually be made? Interesting, at least there's a sign. I want the blueprint too. Lin Chen was ecstatic and entered the blueprint into the system. However, the next moment, Lin Chen was so angry that he started fighting with the system. Golden Battle God Armor Blueprint. Materials required. 999 pieces of 2nd grade sacred artifacts and above, 2 million heaven path points, 2 million set essence, 5 cubic meters of metal-type top-grade sacred ores. Note, metal-type sacred ores must not be lower than 9th grade sacred ores. Damn it, why don't you go rob a bank? 999 pieces of 2nd grade sacred artifacts. Do you think I'm a wholesale seller of sacred artifacts? This was the first time Lin Chen wanted to fight with the system. Was it trying to trick him? Lin Chen thought about how the ancient god set's components had personally confirmed that this item was comparable to a divine artifact. Only then did he feel slightly better. In any case, it was a killing weapon comparable to a divine artifact. It couldn't be helped that it was more expensive. With a wave of his hand, Lin Chen put away Crown Prince Schwangen's dragon body and dragon core. When Lin Chen left and returned to the 10,000 dragon meeting ground, the experts of the dragon tribe were looking at him differently. No one dared to underestimate this new king, let alone the Azure Dragon race. In fact, even the Dragon race experts couldn't see through Lin Chen's foundation. Just a double 8th grade bloodline wouldn't have been able to escape unscathed in the battle just now. In other words, this kid was hiding an even more terrifying trump card. Yang Enren opened her beautiful eyes. She, who was at the top, finally revealed a trace of battle intent as she stared at Lin Shun. The two of them looked at each other, and Lin Shen winked at her and whistled. Those who didn't know would think that the two of them were flirting. At this moment, a thought transmitted to Lin Shen. New Azure Dragon King. How about we make a deal? I want to buy Crown Prince, Xuanzhen's Dragon Core, and Dragon Body. It was a dragon race expert. Oh, Lin Shen was interested, but then he realized that the Dragon Body had been absorbed by the Bang Bang and was no longer complete. If he took it out now, he might expose something. Dragon race expert, I definitely can't return the Dragon Body to you. Only the Dragon Core is left. If you want it, you can exchange it with 20 low-grade odd crystals. Lin Shun sent a mocking voice transmission. That mighty figure was stunned. This 20 odd crystals is impossible. It's fine if there's still the Dragon Body. How about this 5 odd crystals? As long as it's not a blood-type odd crystal, you can choose any attribute. How about that? Lin Chen raised his eyebrows. To think that this powerful being really wanted it. He was just casually offering a price. Lin Chen didn't know that there was no lack of forbidden techniques in the ancient dragon race that could change one's fate. As long as the Dragon Core wasn't broken, the shattered spiritual consciousness could rebuild the Dragon Body. If the Dragon Body was intact, the bloodline could even recover to 70 to 80% of its peak. Chapter 1231. How about this 8? No less. I might as well use these dragon cores to cook. Lin Feng pretended to be in a difficult position. Cook. The corners of the dragon race's mouth twitched, and he said seriously, 7. That's my limit. Deal. While the other dragons were fighting in full swing, Lin Shun and a mighty figure of the dragon race completed an earth-shattering transaction. That dragon race's mighty figure wanted to befriend the Xianyu prison dragon race and paid a huge price to buy Prince Xianzhen's Dragon Core. A low-grade odd crystal was worth at least 400 million silver Saint Origin coins, which was worth 40,000 gold Saint Origin coins. 7 crystals in one go was equivalent to at least 280,000 gold Saint Origin coins. Only a dragon race's mighty figure had the ability to choose any attribute. The primordial dragon race's Prince Xianzhen's Sacred Beast Core was precious and could be used to refine a 6th grade sacred pill. But odd crystals were even more precious. To Lin Shun, there was almost no limit to how many odd crystals he could absorb. The more the better. Lin Shun chose 2 light-type odd crystals, 1 wood-type, 2 wind-type, and 2 dark-type odd crystals to complete the 9 attributes. But Lin Chen didn't refine them now. His sacred acupoint was in this sealed acupoint state and could only refine these odd crystals after he came out of seclusion. Although the rest of the top 16 battles were dazzling, they didn't reverse the situation like Lin Chen did. On the other hand, Ji Xiaochuan and Yang Anren continued to crush their opponents, causing quite an uproar. Their opponents were the Wind Sacred Winged Dragon Prince and the Thunder Dragon Prince. After entering the ancestral dragon tomb and tempering their bodies with dragon chi, they broke through to 10 billion dragon power and were second only to Prince Xianzhen and the others, but they were still crushed. In 2 days, the top 8 were decided. Lin Shen's top 8 opponent was the Yin Yang Creation Dragon Princess, Su Ming, the eccentric girl in green. Inside the venue, Su Ming was like a graceful butterfly, floating to the green dragon race's position and came to Lin Shun. I choose to forfeit, Green Dragon King. You don't have any objections, right? Su Ming smiled at Lin Shun. Yeah. Lin Shun was a little surprised. You're not going to try? As far as he knew, the princesses and princes of the primordial dragon clan were all unruly and arrogant. Their arrogance was comparable to the monsters on the monster ranking. I don't want to end up like Crown Prince Xuanzhen and get crushed by you so violently. Su Meng'er stuck out her tongue. Lin Shan felt that it was inappropriate for children. She sat down next to Lin Shan as if she was familiar with him. She swung her snow-white legs and smiled with curved eyebrows. A young female elder of the Azure Dragon clan pushed Mu Tianqing to the left of Lin Shan. The latter's ears turned red. The two beauties, one on the left and one on the right, made everyone envious. This caused some of the primordial dragon race princes to gnash their teeth in jealousy. The naming Bang Bang is definitely not your real name. The young girl's bright and beautiful eyes flowed with a trace of craftiness as she stared straight at Lin Shan. She softly whispered and transmitted her voice to Lin Shan. Great King Azure Dragon, how about telling me your true name? She was dreamy and blurred, like a butterfly under the sun. Her exquisite figure had a dreamy charm, like a dream lover in the hearts of men. Well, actually, my real name is Zhang Tai Shuai, and my nickname is Shirleji. My nickname is Black Dragon in the Waves. Lin Shan laughed. Su Meng kept asking Lin Shan questions, but he kept talking. In the top 8, Lin Shan unexpectedly won without a fight because of the beauty's forfeiture and advanced to the top 4. In the end, Crown Prince Wanhua fought against the Dark Heaven Dragon clan in the top 8, and an unbelievable scene played out. After being trampled by Yang Anren for dozens of rounds, Crown Prince Wanhua was defeated. When he was sent back to the arena, an extremely melodramatic scene played out. Princess Anren, your strength has deeply convinced this Crown Prince. I, Crown Prince Wanhua, am willing to treat you as my queen. Please marry my clan. Crown Prince Wanhua knelt on one knee, and his unruly appearance was filled with admiration as he looked at Yang Anren. Many experts were dumbfounded. Lin Shan laughed. This Crown Prince's hobby was a bit strange. Lin Xuan rubbed his chin and said, so this Crown Prince Wanhua has also become a bootlicker. Su Meng, and Mu Tianqing asked curiously at the same time. What's a bootlicker? Lin Shan said seriously, a bootlicker is willing to be a cow or a horse for the other party, as long as they give him grass. The two girls said, something was wrong. When the top 4 were selected, it was finally the end. When the lots were drawn, the Green Dragon Clan's opponent was the Shadow Burial Phantom Dragon Clan. Lin Chun against Ji Xiaochuan. The biggest dark horse of this dragon gathering was against a monster on the same level as Yang Anren. In a battle plane, Lin Chun and Ji Xiaochuan were facing each other. Ji Xiaochuan had an evil look on his face as he licked his lips. You're no match for me. Are you going to forfeit or fight me head-on? This Crown Prince is proficient in the Spirit Tao. If you're injured, there might be some permanent scars that can't be healed. Forfeit? Lin Shan raised his eyebrows slightly. Didn't you see how hard I hammered Crown Prince Xianzhen's head just now? If you have time to talk nonsense, why don't you use a few more moves? Interesting. Since my bloodline skyrocketed, I haven't really used my full strength. I wanted to start with Yang Anren, but I'll kill you first. Rumble. Ji Xiaochuan decisively revealed his dragon form. Endless dragon qi intertwined, and an abyssal dragon flew out from hell with countless lives buried there. Its body was pitch black, and its dragon scales looked like they were made of molten iron. It was bold and majestic. Azure Dragon King, this Crown Prince knows that your Spirit Tao attainments are extraordinary. Use your full strength. The abyssal dragon opened its mouth, and a terrifying dragon roar came like a hurricane, mixed with a Spirit Tao fluctuation that could penetrate everything. 13 billion dragon power points. Ji Xiaochuan is actually this strong? His spirit has already reached the mid-stage of the Saint Rudiment stage. A dragon race powerhouse exclaimed with a solemn expression. This roar shatters the galaxy was a double explosion of Spirit Tao and pure strength. Myriad Dragon Breaking Spear. Lin Chun grabbed with one hand, and the azure spear danced like a dragon, piercing through the dragon roar repeatedly. The sound waves were torn apart along with the spatial crystal walls. Ji Shaochuan's spirit Dao was also devoured by a deep and vast spirit Dao fluctuation. What? He's unharmed? While Ji Shaochuan was stunned, Lin Chun held the dragon spear with one hand, and thousands of spear shadows shot out like torrential rain. Each strike contained more than 10 billion dragon power points, and Ji Shaochuan attacked with his dragon tail. Bang! The collision of the dragon spear and dragon tail caused thousands of waves of air, shattering the spatial crystal walls. One man and one dragon clashed fiercely, as if they had returned to the primordial era. Every collision shattered the spatial crystal walls, scattering countless spirit Dao fragments. The burial shadow mirage dragon was the origin of all spiritual-type dragons. Their bloodline talent was to cultivate the Dao of spiritual type. This talent made them extremely bloodthirsty, even killing their own kind. If an expert of the same level were to fight him, they would be shaken by his spirit and baleful aura, and they would be scared before the battle even started. Blood illusion, sky, glass mirror. Ji Shaochuan controlled thousands upon thousands of illusory dragon shadow to attack Lin Chen's body. Chapter 1232. Every single illusory dragon shadow was a mental attack. Such a torrential rain of mental attacks was enough to destroy the will of most fourth heaven true saints. Azure Dragon Sword. Lin Chen's dragon tail turned into a sword as he sliced apart the illusory dragon shadow. The mental attacks that could disrupt a fourth heaven true saint's mental attacks couldn't penetrate Lin Chen's defenses at all. Every time they got close to him, an even stronger mental power would transform into a vast starry sky and deflect the mental attacks. Competing in mental power? The other members of the dragon race might be a little wary, but this was Lin Chen's forte. How? How is this possible? This crown prince's bloodline ability is actually useless against this fellow. The more Ji Shaochuan fought, the more shocked he became. He had used two types of perfect grade mental attacks, but they couldn't shake Huang Xiaolong's will to battle. Perfect grade mental attacks were equivalent to the human race's orange rank divine arts. Ji Shaochuan's mental attacks were equivalent to the human race's orange rank divine arts. This should be much harder to deal with than ordinary attacks. Why was Huang Xiaolong able to deal with them so easily? His mental power is on the same level as mine. Even if he's slightly stronger than me, it's impossible for him to be completely immune to my mental attacks. Ji Shaochuan was running out of tricks in the battle, and the experts of the various races felt that something was amiss. He's actually evenly matched with Ji Shaochuan. Evenly matched, my ass. He hasn't even transformed into a dragon yet. This brat is too good at hiding his strength. Ji Shaochuan's mental attacks are completely useless against him. He's forcing Ji Shaochuan to use pure strength to fight against him. Ji Ing Bang Bang's mental power is actually so terrifying. In the previous battle, Lin Chen hadn't relied on his mental power to fight. He was afraid that the experts would notice something was amiss. Even though they were both at the mid-stage of the Saint Realm, his mental power was far superior to Ji Shaochuan's. Lin Chen shattered all of Ji Shaochuan's mental attacks and used the Genesis Holy Scripture to disperse the mental attacks. He was able to gain a firm foothold. In order to avoid the dragon race's experts from probing, Lin Chen's mental power only attacked and didn't defend at all. RIP. After more than 100 rounds, Lin Chen was the first to expose a flaw in Ji Shaochuan's defense. The Azure Dragon sword slashed open his dragon scales. As the dragon blood gushed out, Lin Chen smiled and said, "You've persisted for so long. You could be considered a good fighter." Smack! Lin Chen snapped his fingers and activated his super chaos talent. Buzz, buzz, buzz! Ji Shaochuan's body throbbed. His dragon meridians, qi and blood, tendons and bones, and even his consciousness were all in a state of extreme chaos. What kind of technique is this? Could it be his spiritual type divine art? What kind of ability is this to be able to control this prince's dragon vein? Ji Xiaochuan was shocked and horrified. He finally understood one of the reasons why Prince Xuanzhen lost. Why did his aura suddenly become unstable when his attack was at its strongest? So, it was because of this move. In the next moment, the vast power of the dragon vein poured into the water-type odd crystal. Lin Shun clenched his fist, and the extraordinary god art, extreme prison, heavenly prison, suddenly descended on the entire plane. Boom, 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 boom. Endless waves drowned Ji Xiaochuan and constructed the extreme prison, heavenly prison. Countless phantom sea dragons galloped on the surface of the sea, and there were even chains binding Ji Xiaochuan's body. Lin Chen's 1 billion dragon meridians were almost completely drained, and then he frantically refined a large amount of silver sacred origin coins to replenish the consumption. The last time he fought against Prince Xuanzhen, Lin Shun activated the extreme prison, heavenly prison, and only used 500 million dragon meridians to crush him. Only those with more than 1 billion dragon veins could unleash the true power of this extraordinary divine ability. The entire plane was instantly reduced to an endless raging sea, firmly imprisoning Ji Xiaochuan within. Ka, ka, ka. The entire plane was on the verge of collapse, and the space crystal wall was about to collapse. All the dragon race mighty figures suddenly stood up with horrified expressions. Oh my god, this little guy can actually destroy the entire battle plane. This is the power of his extraordinary god art. It's too terrifying. Even the extraordinary god art I inherited back then is far inferior to this kid. Lin Chun activated the extreme prison, heavenly prison, with 1 billion dragon meridians, and the plus 15 bloodline made the bloodline god art more than 4 times stronger. A perfect god art was comparable to an ordinary low-grade, orange-grade technique. What about an extraordinary god art? An extraordinary god art that could increase the power by 4 times? How monstrous would that be? Ji Xiaochuan trembled in fear. If his spiritual attack was effective on this prince, he could still fight. But how could he fight? He completely ignored his spiritual attack and had such a heaven-defying bloodline god art. Boom! The plane was overturned and compressed into a ball, and Ji Xiaochuan's spiritual consciousness suddenly spread out. Surrender. Surrender. He was very smart. He split his spiritual power into many parts and teleported out, unlike Prince Xuanzhen, who only realized at the last moment that he wanted to surrender and was already locked down by Lin Shen. Rip. Space cracked, and 2 dragon race mighty figures instantly entered the battle plane and interfered with the outcome of the battle to protect Ji Xiaochuan. All right, King of the Green Dragon race, you've won. Lin Shen only retracted his god art after the mighty figures made the announcement. Even though his face was pale, his eyes were filled with fighting spirit. A complete, extraordinary god art is indeed monstrous. With my bloodline strengthening, my holy dragon has already grasped a whole new level of strength. Lin Shen was confident that if he met the group of 4th Heaven True Saints in the sacred burial mountain range again, he wouldn't need to rely on the war god's gauntlet anymore. He could rely on his own body and holy dragon to fight against them. This was an overwhelming strength. Lin Shun, who hadn't even reached the 2nd Heaven True Saint realm, already had the strength to fight against 4th Heaven True Saints. If it's you, you might be able to fight against that monster. She obtained a huge fortuitous encounter in the giant whale plane. Don't give her a chance at the start. Ji Xiaochuan transmitted his voice to Lin Shun. The monster he was referring to was Yang Anren. Ji Xiaochuan wasn't a weakling. In fact, he was stronger than Crown Prince Xuanzhen. However, he was helpless against Lin Shun. His spiritual type ability was completely suppressed. Even if he had risked his life to fight back, he might have been able to injure Lin Shun. However, he would have died under that terrifying god art. Thank you for the information. Lin Shun flicked his finger and sent a few long kingwo to Ji Xiaochuan. Lin Shun didn't have much of a grudge with Ji Xiaochuan. Hence, he couldn't be bothered to kill him. Ji Xiaochuan cupped his fists and turned to leave. With a wave of his dragon claw, Lin Shun collected all the attribute light balls Ji Xiaochuan dropped. Most of them were spiritual type. When he returned to the 10,000 Dragon Arena, Yang Anren had also defeated his opponent. Their gazes met, and the smell of gunpowder before the finals filled the air. Lin Shun chuckled. It seems like we can finish the battle in the first round. Yang Anren said calmly. I hope you have more trump cards up your sleeve. Otherwise, this battle will be boring. Lin Shun said, don't worry. The most people will say about me is that I'm full of surprises. I guarantee you that I'll surprise you again and again. When the two of them returned to the arena, the experts of the various races looked at the Azure Dragon banner on the champion's seat with complicated emotions. Who would have thought that a team that wasn't even from the ancient dragon race would be able to kill their way out of the encirclement and shine brightly in the 10,000 Dragon Conference? No one could stop them as they stood in front of the dark sky dragon race. Chapter 1233. The final round of the competition will begin in 3 days. Both parties, please get ready. The winner will become the king of myriad dragons. Lin Shun returned to his seat and continued to refine the Silver Saint Origin coins in the Peach Blossom pouch to replenish the draconic vein he had consumed. With a thought, Lin Shun opened the system. Heavenly Tao Possession System version 7.0 Host Lin Shun. Cultivation. First Heaven True Saint Realm, 10 Saint Points. High-grade Essence, 398. 8 billion points limit. 6 billion Dragon Energy. Flesh Shell Awakening plus 100%. High-grade Vitality, 228. 9 billion points High-grade Consciousness. 439 million points. Middle Saint Realm. High-grade Cultivation Technique Essence, 3. 1 million points. High-grade Rune Energy, 2. 25 million points. Mid-grade Heaven's Path points, 1. 85 million points. Mid-grade Talent points, 2. 84 million points. Set Essence, 950,000 points. Blank Attribute points, 0 points. Strengthening points, 97.9 million points. High-grade Elemental Energy. Fire Element, 1,600,000 points. Earth Element, 1,940,000 points. Wood Element, 1,360,000 points. Metal Element, 1,770,000 points. Water Element, 1,640,000 points. Lightning Element, 1,550,000 points. Wind Element, 1,410,000 points. Light Element, 1,500,000 points. Darkness Element, 1,620,000 points. Cultivation Technique Status Column, open. Bloodline Status Column, open. Life Awakening Column, open. Passive Talent Column. Dual Cultivation Assault. Laceration. Quasi-Orange Super Chaos. Orange Extreme God Possession Fragment, 3/4. Active Talent Column, open. Sure Kill Skill Column, open. Unique Rune Column, open. Talent Combination Skill, open. Just like Lin Shun, Yang Anren hadn't even revealed her true form in the previous battle. Her strength was unfathomable. Lin Shun still needed more trump cards to deal with her. System, use all my strengthening points to strengthen all my bloodlines. While the Myriad Dragon Arena was in full swing, on the other side, in the sacred boundary, the Green Domain. The Green Domain tower was so tall that one couldn't see its top. Its body was pitch black like a coiled black dragon. Every level of the tower was equivalent to a city that could accommodate tens of millions of people. From afar, it looked like a true colossus that reached the heavens. At this time, the Realm Tower was packed with people. Those who could enter the Realm Tower were all saints. The saints of the 36 domains had gathered from all directions. Today was the registration day for the preliminary competition of the Genius List. The 10-year Sacred War was about to begin, and the situation had changed. An expert had appeared. A reclusive old monster had come out of seclusion, and a peerless monster had personally arrived. The Genius List had gathered, and the top 1,000 Saint Realm geniuses were all present. There were even 7th-rank aristocratic families and sects that came out to observe the preliminaries in person. The preliminaries were the first of its kind in history. They could challenge the monsters on the monster rankings. On the ninth floor of the Realm Tower, within a secret room, sat an old man with a sage-like bearing. He flipped through the jade slip in his hand, and his dark green eyes flashed with traces of praise as he nodded from time to time. Yes, there are a lot of good seedlings this time. I just don't know if that young man, Lin Shun, will come. I really want to see him. Buzz! Space rippled as a black-robed figure descended and knelt on one knee. The black-robed man reported, "Elder Shun, we have an important guest." Oh, the old man was surprised. Could it be that this person was a 7th-ranked giant? Who are you? If it's not something important, let Elaine deal with it. The old man was a little impatient. He didn't want to give face to a 7th-ranked force. The black-robed man said again, "It's the Godly Flame Palace." Elder Shun's pupils trembled. The Godly Flame Palace. Elder Shun stood up and squinted his eyes. The black-robed man said respectfully, "The important guest is on the 8th floor, the Orchid Plain." "Yes, I'll go there." Elder Shun took a step forward, and the stars moved. When he appeared again, the surroundings were filled with the sound of birds and the fragrance of flowers. This was the 8th floor of the Realm Tower. Those who could come here were all experts in the upper levels of the sacred boundary in terms of status, experience, and cultivation. At this moment, there were more than 100 powerful saints gathered here. Some were in charge of a region and had authority over billions of living beings. Some had unfathomable cultivation, and some had even stepped into that illusory and new realm. The young ones were the peerless monsters on the monster rankings. Every one of them was a living legend of the 36 domains of the sacred boundary. However, at this moment, all the experts on the 8th floor were staring at a waterfall in a valley, dumbfounded. Elder Shun teleported to the front of a waterfall, and then he was shocked. In the dense mist, there were 10 peerless beauties standing beside a snow-white figure. They were like stars surrounding the moon, setting off this stunning beauty. Her long dress was like a cloud and fluttering snow. In the mist, she looked ethereal like a fairy. The beauty's hair was adorned with pearls, and her hair was in a cloud bun. Her eyebrows were like the distant mountains in late autumn. Her brows were filled with deep longing, and her beautiful eyes were sparkling. Her temperament was elegant and otherworldly. The beauty's flawless waist was tied with a strand of red. It was as if everything in the world was overshadowed by her beauty. The mist flowed and surrounded the peerless beauty. Her flawless snow-white hands were folded in front of her waist. She was quiet, beautiful, refined, and peerless. She didn't need too many decorations. As long as she stood there, she would be the center of the world. She would make anyone sigh. How could there be such a person in the world? If there were fairies in the world, perhaps she would be the most beautiful one. Seeing Elder Shun arrive, the beauty bowed to greet him. "Greetings, Elder Shun of the Boundary Tower." Elder Shun came back to his senses and immediately cupped his fists. "Miss, you're too polite. May I ask why the Godly Flame Palace is looking for the Boundary Tower?" Elder Shun's status was terrifying. Even if a powerful figure from a 7th-rank family invited him, he might not necessarily accept. However, in front of the Godly Flame Palace, he couldn't put on airs. Not many people knew how powerful this sect was. However, in a long history, there was once a 6th-rank family that offended the Godly Flame Palace. In one night, the family, together with its branch family, was destroyed and disappeared in an instant. A grade 6 organization was already the peak of the holy world. Whether or not a grade 6 organization could nurture a monster on the monster rankings depended entirely on the grade 6 organization. Destroying a grade 6 organization was not something that could be accomplished just by suppressing the other party in terms of cultivation. It required a lot of energy. What kind of family was the Godly Flame Palace? No one knew. Even Elder Shun didn't know. The beauty said, "I want to be a candidate for the monster list and participate in the competition. I hope Elder Shun can help me." Elder Shun was stunned. He smiled pleasantly and said, "So that's what you want. It's a small matter. Why would I trouble someone like you to do such a small matter. The monster list competition was definitely a grand event in the sacred boundary in the outside world. However, in front of the godly flame palace, it was nothing. It's not a small matter. The beauty shook her head. Anything related to him is not a small matter. There was a hint of joy, longing, and anticipation in her tone. Oh, Elder Shun was old and shrewd. He asked with a smile, "Who are you here for? Is there such a lucky young man in the world who can win your favor?" The beauty smiled faintly. She was peerless. "He's the most important person to me. His name is Lin Shun." Elder Shun was stunned. In the sacred burial mountain, a black-robed young man walked out slowly. His eyes were demonic and extraordinary. He was like a demon walking out a graveyard, flowing with monstrous demonic intent. Chapter 12:34. A figure slowly walked out from behind the black-robed youth. "Finally, I have obtained a decent body." The newcomer was a young man with a calm demeanor. However, when he thought of the person who had messed up the situation, a murderous aura erupted from his face. Boom! A boundless demonic prison appeared around the young man. Numerous 8-armed brute devils and 9-headed heavenly devils surrounded him. Demonic aura filled the sky on his left, while holy light shone from his right. Both demonic and human techniques coexisted. "Lin Shun, this little bastard ruined my plan. If I don't sacrifice him, I won't be able to swallow this anger." The young man's face was twisted like a mad beast. The black-robed youth said calmly, "He will definitely participate in the preliminaries. We can intercept and kill him there. In any case, your body is more than enough, isn't it?" Hearing this, the young man's anger subsided. He licked his lips and looked creepy. I wonder if the preliminaries are comparable to when I participated in the preliminaries." In a palace, the young man held the last breath of a middle-aged man in one hand. His pair of golden pupils surged with 3,000 rays of sharpness, as if they could pierce through the void with a single glance. The young man asked coldly, "Where is he?" The middle-aged man struggled. I don't know, but if he is fine, he should be participating in the preliminaries." The middle-aged man tried to break free from the young man's grasp. His Saint acupoints surged and shone brightly, but he realized that the young man was holding the entire space in his hand. His strength was so strong that it made one's hair stand on end. What is his strength? Expanded cavern realm? How can there be such a freak in the expanded cavern realm in this world? The middle-aged man's heart trembled. He was a fourth heaven saint with 37 acupoints, a late-stage, expanded cavern realm cultivator. He was suppressed by the young man with a flip of his hand. "Oh, seems like you're not being honest." Crack! The young man twisted his hand and broke the middle-aged man's neck. "Lin Shun, the divine crimson 7 silk, is not something a mortal like you can wield. Reserve meeting for the genius list? What kind of trash is that? Lin Xingchen, will destroy it with my sword." Boom! The young man transformed into a streak of sword light, traversing thousands of miles. This youth was none other than Lin Xingchen, who had personally infiltrated the sacred burial mountain range. The reserve meeting of the genius list was a gathering of all sorts of people. The great wilderness. A slender black-robed figure silently appeared. When he lowered his head to look at the demonic seal on his palm, he suddenly flashed and quietly disappeared. On the other side, at the Myriad Dragon Assembly Hall, the last round of the representative competition, the Azure Dragon Clan against the Dark Heavenly Dragon Clan. Gilbert Bang Bang versus Yang Anren. Both parties, please enter the battle plane. The winner will become the king of Myriad Dragons of this Myriad Dragons Assembly. You will have the qualifications to enter the 7th level of the Myriad Dragon Palace, and all the clansmen of your race will be baptized by the primordial dragon, Qi, once every 100 years. When the gray-clothed old woman made her announcement, 10,000 dragons surged. The final battle of the 10,000 Dragons Guild. The king of 10,000 dragons was a blessing to the entire race. Every time the king of 10,000 dragons was crowned, the vast majority of it was monopolized by the ancient dragon clan. Only 3 million years ago did a heaven-shaking genius emerge from the ancient dragon clan and win the king of 10,000 dragons. From then on, the honor of the king of 10,000 dragons never belonged to any other dragon clan besides the ancient dragon clan. Not to mention the ancient dragon clan. If the Azure Dragon clan could accomplish this unprecedented feat, they would become the most dazzling clan in the history of the Dragon Clan. Lin Shun and Yang Anren entered the battle plane. Yang Anren was still wearing a short skirt today. Her black clothes were like the night sky, like a rose under the night sky. Her beauty hid a fatal and obscure killing intent. She smiled slightly, and her smile was so beautiful that it shook one's soul. Ing bang bang, this time you. Rumble. Lin Chun blasted out a palm, and the dragon vein was sucked dry, and the water shone brightly. Heaven and earth turned upside down, and the universe changed. The massive, furious sea heavenly prison descended from the sky, engulfing the entire battle plane. All the experts in the Myriad Dragon Assembly were dumbfounded. This kid didn't play according to the rules. He used a transcendent divine ability right off the bat. But it was far from that. Boom, boom, boom. Airwaves surged, and the might shook the heavens and the earth. 10 grayish-white talismans, each 1,000 feet in size, appeared out of nowhere, erupting with an invincible aura that could seal all things. Sealing people, sealing ghosts, sealing demons, and suppressing dragons. Consumed 50,000 rune energy to activate the level 7 slowing rune. Lin Chen's body was burning with golden flames. This was a sign that he was burning gold Saint Origin coins to quickly replenish the dragon vein. Beauty of the Dark Sky Dragon race. I'm very good at making things. If you can't take it, remember to surrender. As Lin Chen smiled flirtatiously, he clenched his fists, and a massive extreme hell heavenly prison quickly compressed, squeezing Yang Anren's petite body continuously. Her hot and sexy figure continued to appear, as if the weight of an infinite plane was pressing down on her. The terrifying pressure of the slowing rune made Yang Anren unable to move for a moment. Lin Chen's slowing rune was unprecedentedly powerful. Crack, crack, crack. The spatial crystal walls of the plane started to crack. Even though it had been reinforced by the mighty figures of the dragon race this time, it still couldn't stop the momentum of the battle. Yang Anren, who had always been arrogant and disdainful, finally had a change in expression. The power of a perfect divine art was roughly equivalent to Lin Chen's Moon Mirror God's divine art or Heavenly Sword Fury. A peak perfect divine art was comparable to God's Tear and True Dragon Dance. As for the extraordinary divine art, it was comparable to the human race's mid-orange grade cultivation technique. After being strengthened by Lin Chun, it might even have the power of a mid-orange grade cultivation technique. The extreme hell heavenly prison could be used to attack, defend, and exhaust. To Lin Chun, it was a heaven-defying technique. Bang, bang, bang. The extreme hell heavenly prison continued to crack and explode. Black draconic chi covered the sky and tore the void apart. Even though the extreme hell heavenly prison wasn't destroyed, it was heavily damaged. Even this can't trap her? This woman is a little troublesome. Lin Chun increased the speed at which he absorbed the gold Saint Origin coins, and the dragon vein was replenished rapidly. That sneak attack just now, coupled with the slowing rune, could crush an ordinary mid-4th heaven true saint. How could Yang Anren break a corner of the prison? Rumble. Draconic chi spread out for 3,000 li, and it was like a flood that pushed a corner of the extreme hell heavenly prison open. Yang Anren's black draconic chi covered her body, and blood flowed from her lips. Her hair was scattered, and she looked extremely charming. She laughed evilly. You really didn't disappoint me. Ing bang bang, don't stop. Ha ha ha. Yang Anren stepped through the void, and layers of black draconic shadows appeared. Her speed was so fast that only a few people in the Myriad Dragon Arena could see her clearly. Her slender arms transformed into black draconic scales, and she slammed them down on Lin Chen's head. Everlasting azure light. Lin Chen circulated the sky dragon bloodline in his body, and azure light burst out from his body. He used all his strength to defend himself, and at the same time, he swung his dragon tail and slashed out with the azure dragon sword. 5 streaks of draconic light slashed down, and the black draconic claw slashed down. Bang! Lin Chen's azure dragon sword was destroyed in a single strike. Draconic chi pierced through the azure dragon sword and slammed into the everlasting azure light, shattering Lin Chen's perfect divine art defense. Pucci. Lin Chen retreated with blood flowing from the corner of his mouth, and the expressions of the dragon race experts changed. Yang Anren's dragon power has broken through to 20 billion? The ancient might of the primeval dragons filled Yang Anren's blood and broke the restraint of the runes of slowing down and the status of super chaos. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Chen was slightly surprised when his confusion status was completely broken. Mighty and regal dragon might erupted from the battle plane, spreading throughout the entire universe. All of the dragon tribe powerful beings in the Myriad Dragon assembly venue were instantly struck by a sense of fear and trepidation. This is the desolate era's dragon might. 9th grade bloodline. My God, this girl actually broke through the 9th grade bloodline. Ji Xiaochuan is only at the peak of the 8th rank, but she has already advanced to the 9th rank. The Dragon Clan experts felt their scalps go numb, and the mighty figure's eyes narrowed. There seems to be a fine line between the 8th and 9th grades, but the difference is actually like heaven and earth. Even among the desolate era dragons, she's probably at the top level. Jilling Bang Bang is about to lose. Lin Chen flapped his holy phoenix wings repeatedly and repeatedly used all kinds of trump cards, but Yang Anren blocked all of them. Dragon blood splattered everywhere. In less than 10 rounds of battle, Lin Chen's sacred dragon fell into a heavily injured state. Although Yang Anren was also injured, and because of the extinction wound, her injuries could not be healed, but she only suffered light injuries. In comparison, Lin Chen's flesh and blood were all over his body. His arms were full of cracks, and the dragon scales on the surface of his body were soaked with blood as if they were about to split open. The assault talent is not suitable for magical powers above the perfect grade. What a pity. Lin Chen laughed in his heart, and a trace of excitement appeared on his face. So what if you have a 9th grade bloodline? Brother Chen will defeat you today. Green light swam, and the power of Atlas gathered on Lin Chen's azure dragon right arm. He suddenly pushed his palm horizontally and stretched out a claw. Rumble. A green dragon claw burst out from his 5 fingers like a coiling dragon. Its power covered the sky and the earth, and it erupted with a dragon aura that could shatter the stars in the sky and shake Yang Anren. Together with the extreme hell heavenly prison, it surrounded her from the front and the back. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. It was actually another extraordinary level divine ability. Yang Anren unleashed all her 20 billion dragon power points. She raised her hands high, and a pitch-black ball condensed between her palms and smashed it down. Dark Dragon Sky Shatter. Just as the black ball was about to collide with the green dragon claw, the latter suddenly trembled and turned into 5 claws. The host has consumed 200,000 talent points to activate 2 orange talents and enhance the extraordinary bloodline ability. Instant light, split shadow. Lin Chen smiled wickedly. What? Almost everyone's scalp tingled. The extraordinary divine ability was divided into 5 moves. The power didn't change. Bam, bam, bam. The 5 dragon claws shattered the black ball, stirring up a green and dark storm and setting off a shocking explosion. It was as if the entire existential plane was about to be overturned. Every wisp of energy was crushing the spatial crystal walls, and young Anrin was tightly bound by the extreme hell-heavenly prison. The two of them were sent flying far away by the aftermath of the collision. Both of them vomited blood and flew backward at the same time. The ancient skyscraping dragon bloodline's extraordinary magical power, Heavenly Claw. It consumed the dragon bloodline's power to unleash a heaven-shaking dragon claw. Its power could cover the sky and earth and overturn the stars in the existential plane with one claw. It could increase the original dragon power's destructive power by 1 to 3 times. And with the power of dragon breath, it could tear the opponent's defense apart. With the enhancement of instant light split shadow, the power of this move was enough to shake the current young Anrin. However, the consumption was also extremely terrifying. Almost 1/10 of Lin Chen's talent points were used up in an instant. Young Anrin is seriously injured. Why does this kid have so many trump cards? Oh no! Ing Bang Bang's accumulated injuries are too heavy. Although young Anrin is seriously injured, he might be shaken to death. The mighty figures of the dragon race suddenly got up, ready to attack at any time. If this continued, the dragon race might lose 2 peerless geniuses. Young Anrin was injured, and the injuries were continuous and could not be healed. Bathed in her own dragon blood, she finally revealed the true form of the dark heavenly dragon. The purplish-black dragon's body was like that of an Yinglong and a Qilin, looking down on the world and dominating the primordial world. Its dragon claws were like towering mountains, and a pair of sky-covering dragon wings was raised on its back. Every flap of the dragon wings stirred up torrential storms that swept through the 9 heavens and stirred up the clouds. The dragon's head was majestic, and the dragon's eyes were filled with violent fighting spirit. At the sight of the insufferably arrogant dark heavenly dragon, many of the dragon race's princes and princesses trembled in fear. However, before the first wave subsided, another wave arose. On the other side, the new Azure Dragon King was bathed in blood. The aura of Yin and Yang covered the top of his head, and the black and white dragon breath flowed through his body like endless power of creation. His pale face actually recovered its color at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, many dragon race experts and mighty figures suddenly stood up. Their faces twitched in horror as if they had seen a ghost. This was another type of bloodline. This kid didn't have 2 8th-grade bloodlines, but 3 8th-grade bloodlines coexisting in one body. What the hell was going on? Chapter 1236. Their scalps went numb. Cold sweat dripped down their backs. They wanted to subscribe. This was the current state of all the Dragon Tribe experts. Even the powerful beings of the Dragon Tribe were no exception, because this scene was simply too strange. Ji Bang Bang's body was surrounded by Yin Yang Dragon Chi, one black and one white. They were like 2 dancing dragons dancing around him. Every time they spun, his injuries would heal faster. This kind of efficient healing method, this kind of perfect fusion of Yin and Yang energy, this kind of tenacious vitality, it was the Yin-Yang creation dragon bloodline. And it was also an 8th-grade bloodline. 3 8th-grade bloodlines. 4 bloodlines coexisting in one body. This scene was even more terrifying than witnessing the 9th-grade bloodline dark sky dragon's true body. Although 9th-grade bloodline was extremely rare in the immemorial dragon tribe, it was not unheard of in history. However, in the history of the immemorial dragon tribe, there was no dragon tribe that could coexist with 3 8th-grade bloodlines. Chun Xie was so shocked that he muttered to himself. No wonder the battle between him and Crown Prince Xianzhen felt strange. How could he block Crown Prince Xianzhen's attack with just his defense? He has the Yin-Yang creation dragon bloodline to protect him. When the various powerhouses savored it, a wave of shock crashed into their hearts. The Yin-Yang creation dragon, the life creation dragon, was born with Yin-Yang Dragon Chi to protect their bloodlines. Their powerful vitality was ranked at the top of the dragon tribe, far surpassing other dragons of the same level. Their recovery ability could even regrow broken limbs in battle. Although this dragon tribe's attack and defense were weak, their vitality was extremely strong. Especially their healing ability, they could heal other dragon tribe members. This was a true treasure of the dragon tribe. The Yin-Yang Creation Dragon Tribe did not participate in this 10,000 Dragons conference because this dragon tribe was a treasure. Every death of this dragon tribe member meant one less dragon tribe member. If it was the princess of this dragon tribe, thousands of tribes would fight over her. If it was the crown prince of this dragon tribe, hundreds of tribes would propose marriage. This was the immemorial dragon tribe that was sought after by countless dragon tribes. However, the new king of the green dragon tribe, Ji Bang Bang, had the ancient sky-raising dragon, extreme hell water dragon, and Yin-Yang creation dragon bloodline, 3/8 grade bloodlines. What did this mean? It meant that he had the defense of the ancient sky-raising dragon, the attack of the extreme hell water dragon, and the vitality of the Yin-Yang creation dragon. A truly perfect body. It was unknown which expert had blurted out the fragrant scent. F***CK. Isn't that F***king cheating? Attack, defense, recovery, perfect as one. Are you F***king writing a book here? In the history of the primordial dragon clan, there weren't any outrageous dragons. No matter how experienced the dragon clan's experts were, they could not remain calm. He cursed on the spot. Some of the dragon crown princes were even more enraged. This was too infuriating. Long by long. 8th grade bloodline. One type was already rare enough, but this guy had 3 types of bloodline to himself? Wasn't Jill afraid of being punished by the heavens? Mr. Lin chuckled and said, "Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Is this exciting?" The Yin-Yang Fortune Dragon bloodline was the last bloodline he had chosen before leaving the Divine Dragon Ruins. It made up for the final flaw of his Holy Dragon bloodline. The only downside was that this bloodline was a new bloodline and could not inherit the same level as the previous bloodlines. Even after using up all his strengthening points, he could only strengthen it to plus 12. Even someone as insufferably strong as Yang Anren also felt an unprecedented sense of oppression. 3-in-1. Azure Dragon King, you are worthy of me, Yang Anren, to bet everything I have to fight you. Rumble. The dark heavenly dragon soared into the sky. Even though its dragon blood was gushing out, it was still like a world-shaking dragon that could split heaven and earth. With a flap of its dragon wings, it swept up raging winds and a huge dark storm, destroying the damaged extreme hell heavenly prison. Lin Chun stepped into the air, golden light covering his head. His yin-yang dragon aura fluctuated, and his dragon bloodline was recovering at the same time. He had recovered more than half of his injuries, close to 60%. It was already very fast to recover to this extent in such a short time. Even if he ate long kingwo and glazed bodhi seeds, he would not be able to catch up to this efficiency. There was still a difference between the injuries of the holy dragon body and the human sacred body. You are not the only one with extraordinary, remarkable abilities. Yang Anren opened its dragon mouth, and a pitch-black abyssal dragon breath gathered like a vortex. An aura of destruction quietly spread out. Lin Chun exhaled and ignored the attribute light balls dropped by Yang Anren. He was fully focused. The difference in cultivation between him and Yang Anren was huge. The difference was 9 billion dragon power points and a grade 1 bloodline. His 2 grade 8 bloodlines were strengthened by plus 15, but in terms of potential and talent, they could not compare to a grade 9 bloodline. The reason he could fight until now was all because of the slow rune and a few orange talents. To be able to force Lin Chun to this extent, Yang Anren could be called a monster without a doubt. My dragon bloodline is only enough for one extraordinary, remarkable ability, one move to settle the universe. Lin Chun gathered all his dragon bloodline. Dense green light surrounded him, and the holy light on his left arm covered the world. Many dragon race experts held their breaths. This was going to be a historical scene. It had been many eras since a grade 9 bloodline appeared in the 10,000 Dragons faction. This time, not only did a grade 9 bloodline appear, but an unprecedented genius had also appeared. It's already at this juncture. What is this gilding Bang Bang doing? Why isn't he transforming into his dragon form? The dark dragon head tilted up, and the destructive aura in the dark vortex suddenly erupted. A black spear covered the sky. Great dark abyss, fallen sky spear. The destructive aura at the tip of the spear was like an unstoppable hurricane, directly locking onto Lin Chen's dragon aura. There was no way to escape. This spear made many mid-stage Stage 8 dragon race experts smell the scent of death. If they faced this spear, they would definitely die. Boom! A grayish-white talisman appeared out of nowhere, and the talisman's energy decreased sharply by 200,000 points. Splat! Rip! The black spear pierced through the grayish-white talisman's freezing power. After its power was reduced by a portion, it pierced toward Lin Chun. Instant light split shadow, heavenly claw. Boom! The green light dragon claw was like the sun and moon in the sky, crushing the fallen sky spear. Bang! 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 The entire plane exploded in an instant, and all the spatial crystal walls shattered, turning into fragments that flew everywhere. The two of them were sent flying by the shockwaves. Before the battle plane shattered, dozens of spiritual light beams descended and collected all the attribute light balls that Yang Anren had dropped. The battle plane that had been reinforced by the dragon race experts was strong enough to withstand the damage of a mid-4th heaven true Saint Realm expert. Attack! Both of them are going to die like this. Whoosh! 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 Chen Xie and the gray-robed old woman's figures flashed as they entered the void. The other experts also entered the void and pressed their palms together, stabilizing the shock waves from the battle so that it wouldn't affect the 10,000 Dragons faction. Boom! Boom! The two of them were brought back into the faction by the dragon race experts. Everyone felt a lingering fear in their hearts. These two fellows had even destroyed the battle plane. How perverted were their attacks? However, more people were concerned about who had won and who had lost. Chapter 1237. At this time, both of them were heavily injured. Yang Anren had returned to her human form, but her body was covered in wounds. Her black dress was soaked in dragon blood, and her beautiful eyes were slightly unfocused. On the other hand, although the Azure Dragon King's blood was weak, his head was covered in golden holy aura. The Yin-Yang dragon breath still had energy to revolve around him and heal his injuries. Victory and defeat had already been decided. Lin Chen walked in front of Yang Anren. Although he was panting, his fighting spirit was high as he asked, "Do you still want to fight? In terms of endurance, I am not inferior to anyone." Yang Anren's heart palpitated. Her expression was unfocused as she looked at the youth in front of her, who was grinning wildly. I lost." Yang Anren unwillingly said those 3 words. This was the first time she had lost to someone of the same age since she was born. Her injuries could not be healed, but her opponent could quickly heal them. The result was clear at a glance. Hearing Yang Anren's answer, all the Dragon Race Supreme Elders were stunned. The gray-clothed old woman reacted the fastest and loudly shouted. This old woman announces that the champion of this 10,000 Dragons gathering is the Azure Dragon Tribe. Congratulations on the birth of the new king of 10,000 dragons, Jill Ing Bang Bang. The 10,000 dragons gathering was in an uproar. Some were dumbfounded, some were shouting. This was a dreamlike counterattack. The king of 10,000 dragons. It was a title that belonged to the primordial dragon tribe countless times. The 10,000 dragons gathering had not produced a king of 10,000 dragons below the primordial dragon tribe for countless epochs. There had only been one recorded in history, and it was a shocking talent of the primordial dragon tribe. In terms of bloodline talent, resources, and cultivation, The primordial dragon tribe completely suppressed the primordial dragon tribe and the primordial dragon tribe. Even if one stood in the primordial dragon tribe, it was almost impossible for them to counterattack. In short, it was almost impossible for anyone below the primordial dragon tribe to kill their way out of the 10,000 dragons gathering and take first place in the final assessment. Now, the Azure Dragon tribe had broken this record. The most excited were the Azure Dragon tribe. It was as if they were in a dream, and their minds were filled with ecstasy. Even when their bloodline had transformed, they had never dreamed of such glory. Our Dragon King is the king of 10,000 dragons. The elders of the Azure Dragon tribe wept tears of joy. Father, do you see this? We have become the king of 10,000 dragons. Mu Tianqing's tears flowed down as she clenched her fists. Under everyone's gaze, before the mighty figures of the Dragon Clan could personally present the award, Lin Shun slowly walked to the podium. He stood proudly on the champion's seat, smiling calmly and domineeringly. All of the participating teams, is there anyone else who wants to fight? At this moment, whether it's a spar or a death match, whether it's a duel or a group duel, as long as there's a challenge, this king will accept it all. Clang! Boom! He suddenly pulled out the Azure Dragon banner, the divine charm between his brows dominating the world. Lin Shun held the banner with one hand, and the dragon banner danced wildly in the wind. This prince has always convinced people with his virtue. Those who are not convinced, I will beat them until they are. Now that the Azure Dragon tribe has taken down the king of 10,000 dragons, who has any objections? If anyone is unconvinced, you can come up now. If you defeat me, the king of 10,000 dragons will be given to you. The corners of Lin Chen's mouth curled up, and he smiled wickedly. There was an uproar in the venue. The young man's figure was as straight as a spear, and his face was pale and cold. The yin-yang dragon Qi was like two dancing dragons, coiling around his body. Endless golden light covered the top of his head, and his silver robe fluttered. The dragon banner fluttered, and his domineering aura surged. He was like a king looking down on the world. All the doubts, disdain, ridicule, and mockery from before vanished into thin air. In the huge venue, not a single dragon made a sound. Whoever was unconvinced could go up and challenge him now. No one dared to move. Even the arrogant primordial dragon race princes did not dare to make a sound. Domineering, powerful, carefree, this new king of 10,000 dragons had played this role to the fullest. Young Anren's beautiful eyes were in a daze as she stared at the figure under the dragon banner. Ha! The heavens have not abandoned our race. What new king of 10,000 dragons? This boldness is the son of the new era that we are pursuing. Bang bang, you have already exceeded our expectations. At that moment, a few laughter and praises that shook the heavens sounded from the void. The expressions of the mighty figures of the dragon race changed slightly. The upper echelons had spoken. Chunxia, give out the rewards. When one of the upper echelons sent a voice transmission, his dragon might was vast and intimidating. At that moment, a red-faced man with a chiseled face stood out slowly. The red-faced mighty figure cupped his fists and said seriously, "Upper echelons, there's still something that hasn't been resolved. This lad has a lot to do with this matter." With that said, the red-faced mighty figure did not wait for the upper echelons to reply. He turned around and questioned sternly, Bang bang, tell me your background. Also, your relationship with Lin Xian of the human race. Right now, I suspect that you colluded with the human race to harm the primordial dragon race's prince. If you don't tell me the truth, I'll cripple you and lock you in the dragon prison no matter how talented you are. The red-faced mighty figure's words stirred up 1,000 waves. Colluding with the human race to harm the primordial dragon race's prince? Without waiting for the higher-ups to speak, the red-faced man invited two graceful and beautiful figures. One of them was still charming, delicate and alluring. One of them was extremely charming and alluring. Fear and trepidation could be seen in the eyes of the two ladies as they sized up Lin Chun. "That's right, it's him," the mother and daughter said in unison. "Oh." Lin Chen's heart skipped a beat. It was the illusory heart dragon's princess and Madame Wanming. How do you explain this matter? The upper echelons sent a voice transmission, their dragon might filling the air. All the experts felt suffocated. Upper echelons, it's like this. A few months ago, the red-faced mighty figure briefly described Lin Chen's battle results in the illusory heart dragon. When the experts in the venue heard this, some were shocked and some were furious. Colluding with the human race to harm the primordial dragon race's prince was a serious matter. If Bang Bang had killed his own people, it would have been fine. The key was that he was involved with the human race. Most of the experts in the venue were more or less related to the human race, but they would not collude with the human race to harm their own race. Any grudges would be settled by their own race. If the human race interfered, the nature of the matter would be different. While the red-faced mighty figure was explaining, Lin Chun connected to the system without batting an eyelid. Once the matter was exposed, he could not just stand there and wait to be killed. Superdimensional teleportation and the maximum value of the delaying rune would be activated instantly. His only blue rank ultimate sure kill skill and the Aries set would be used. What? This kid is related to the human Lin Chun? An elder of the nine-clawed Big Dipper dragon race suddenly stood up with a cold expression. Once, one of their dragon princes had died in the four-way conference of the human race. That prince's bloodline had not been fully awakened. In the future, he had the potential to attain a fifth-grade bloodline. His murderer was a human called Lin Chun. Oh, there's such a bizarre thing. When the voice in the void sounded, it was slightly surprised, but there was not much anger or blame. Bang Bang, what's the relationship between you and that Lin Chun? The upper echelons sent a voice transmission, and everyone's eyes turned to Lin Chun. The green dragon race's people felt their hearts tighten. Chapter 1238. Lin Chun smiled calmly. Of course, it's a cooperative relationship. Could it be that we're friends with benefits? Although both of us are very handsome, our goal is very simple. I want to take a bath in the illusory heart dragon's dragon pool, and he wants the illusory heart stone, so we hit it off. This casual attitude made many powerful beings' mouths twitch. Those who didn't know would think that you were entering your own backyard. You want to go to someone else's dragon pool so blatantly? Lin Chen's attitude made the upper echelons slightly stunned. Humph. The red-faced mighty figure snorted coldly, and his shoulders shook. His dragon aura surged as he sneered. I think you're looking down on the rules of the dragon race. I'll capture you first. Lin Chen narrowed his eyes. His main body in Qing Shui's pouch was ready to fight with all its might. Just as the red-faced mighty figure was about to suppress Lin Chun with a palm strike, an ethereal voice that was like the sound of nature reverberated in the myriad dragon arena. If you touch him, all the dragons will die today. Boom! Monstrous demonic aura descended upon the myriad dragon arena like a 1,000-foot torrent. The owner of the voice was so cold that it made all the dragons shudder. Demonic aura surged like a tide. At the center of the demonic aura vortex, a slender and beautiful black-robed figure slowly stepped out. She wore a cloak, hiding her true appearance. All the mighty figures of the dragon race were shocked. A powerful being of the demon race. Who are you? Chun Xie, the gray-robed old woman, and the other mighty figures of the dragon race soared into the sky, erupting with earth-shattering dragon aura. Rays of dragon light illuminated thousands of miles, and the void within 50,000 miles trembled. The mighty figures of the dragon race only used 1/10 of a breath to surround the black-robed person. Everyone entered a state of combat readiness. As long as the other party made any move, they would immediately launch an earth-shattering attack toward her. The person who came was very strong. These mighty figures of the dragon race were all the pillars of the primordial dragon race for 100,000 years. None of them would underestimate this mysterious black-robed woman. Lin Chen's eyes trembled. It's actually her. Why is she here? All of the dragon tribe powerful beings in the myriad dragon assembly grounds instantly felt a suffocating pressure. This was an absolute suppression that originated from the difference in cultivation level. Don't act rashly. A cry of alarm reverberated. It was the voice of one of the higher-ups hiding in the void. Just as he finished speaking, a series of explosions rang out. The bodies of the 12 dragon race mighty figures were as bright as the stars and the moon. Before they could even unleash half of their power, they all spat out blood and retreated. Those Dragon Clan experts who wanted to resist instantly felt their scalps tingle. They didn't even see when the black-robed man attacked. What kind of great god was this? How dare you? Another upper echelon shouted angrily through voice transmission. Thousands of miles of the sky trembled, and a crack that was like a deep abyss split open. An ancient and desolate might was about to descend. From the heavenly abyss, endless draconic energy seeped out. The dragon talismans and giant dragon shadows that danced in the air seemed to have returned to the ancient times. The black-robed woman raised her slender hand and clenched it gently. Billions of blood-red light gathered in her palm. All the light in the world gradually dimmed and finally turned into a blood moon scimitar. This scimitar looked like it was made of blood jade. The blade was bright and light like snow, but the rolling demonic aura seemed to be able to split open the ancient times. It released an extremely demonic aura. You are? The higher-ups hiding in the distant void exclaimed in shock. All the spirit chi, vitality, light, space, and even time in the world seemed to have been sucked dry by the blood moon scimitar. Light was devoured and absorbed by the blade. Vitality was devoured and turned into a vortex that was annihilated by the blood moon scimitar. The moment the blood moon scimitar appeared, the 12 mighty figures of the dragon tribe turned from shock to horror. They were actually uncontrollably sucked in by the blood moon scimitar. Damn it! An exasperated voice came from heavenly abyss. In an instant, 12 dragon-shaped auras surged out, stirring up the sky and shifting the void, pulling the 12 mighty figures back alive. Be it the veteran experts or the participating prodigies, their faces were filled with horror. It was too terrifying. This mysterious person hadn't even made a move, but she had already suppressed 12 mighty figures of the dragon tribe who could kill 4th heaven and 5th heaven true saints in an instant. Just how strong was she exactly? Whoosh! The cloaked woman pointed the blood moon scimitar at the venue and looked at the void on the other side. You can save them, but I wonder if you can save the ants here? The woman's words scared many of the young prodigies of the dragon tribe out of their wits. F***CK, if this blade slashed down, not even a speck of dust would be left of them. That was a move that defied common sense. Even the mighty figures of the dragon tribe couldn't escape from it, let alone them. Why did you offend the dragon tribe? Do you really think that the divine dragon of our tribe won't appear in the world? When the higher-ups spoke, some of the old monsters' mouths trembled, and their scalps went numb. What kind of background did this woman have? Even the higher-ups had to use the name of the divine dragon to scare her. I want him. The black-robed woman grabbed with her palm and directly pulled Lin Chen over out of thin air. She carried him with one hand like she was carrying a chicken. Do you think I don't care about my face? You. Another higher-up was furious. They were planning to nurture Ing Bang Bang, but a demon appeared out of nowhere to snatch the dragon. Why? Do you have a problem with that? The black-robed woman's slender hand shook, and a demonic blood-colored blade, light, flashed out. Wherever it passed, the space around it twisted into a vortex, and all the light was sucked out and swallowed by the blade light. Rumble. It directly shattered the heavenly abyss in the sky. If you're not afraid of losing tens of thousands of dragons, then chase after me. The black-cloaked woman carried Lin Shun, and without saying a word, she stepped into the void and flashed 10,000 miles away. This, Chun Xie gritted his teeth. A peerless genius of a dragon tribe with 3 rank, 8 bloodlines was snatched away, just like that. Don't chase after him. This person's background is extraordinary and beyond our ability. When the higher-ups transmitted their voice, they hurriedly said, "Clean up the mess." Then, they disappeared without a trace. All the Dragon Tribe experts were dumbfounded. What kind of deity was this gilding Bang Bang? There was actually such a terrifying expert behind him. He came directly to the 10,000 Dragons Guild to snatch him. The eyes of the Azure Dragon Tribe elders almost popped out. Their Dragon King was kidnapped just like that. Traveling through the void, Lin Chun became a chicken and was carried for tens of thousands of miles. He didn't know how far he was taken. After a long time, he sensed that the spatial travel had stopped. He was placed on a mountain peak. I say, "Beauty Luo, can you leave me some face next time?" Speaking of which, what do you want to do? You suddenly appeared. Even I was shocked by you. Lin Chun rubbed his face that was about to cramp as he smiled bitterly. He knew that this woman was Luo Yao who he had met in the sacred burial mountain range. Luo Yao had seen his holy dragon and had a demonic mark on her body. Even if his bloodline transformed, she could recognize him. Therefore, Lin Chen's holy dragon could hide from others, but not from her. Luo Yao grabbed him by the collar and pulled him in front of her. Her delicate fragrance lingered around his nose. Lin Chun was shouting in his heart. "I want you." Lin Chun was shocked. F***CK. What's going on? I'm not a casual person. Right. Let me look for my dual cultivation talent first. Chapter 1239. Inside the cloak, Luo Yao's beautiful eyes looked straight at Lin Chun. "I want you to come with me." Luo Yao's answer stunned Lin Shui, who was about to upgrade his dual cultivation talent. "Go with you? What do you mean? The previous you said to go back to the demon race with you." Lin Chun was puzzled. Luo Yao nodded, and there was a hint of anxiousness in her tone. "Yes, in this life, you will never step into the sacred boundary of the human race again. Follow me to the demon race, and I will make you my right-hand man." "That's impossible," Lin Chun rejected. Perhaps this Luo Yao had left some indelible impressions and good impressions in his heart. The two of them had experienced life and death together, but this was not a reason for Lin Chun to give up on himself. "Don't worry, I won't control your consciousness. If you want to take back your friends and family, when my demon race rises, you will be the overlord of the sacred boundary. What 9th level saint, 9th revolution saint realm, saint king, they can only bow their heads in front of you." Luo Yao's tone gradually softened, and for the first time, there was a hint of pleading. Lin Chen's attitude was firm. "I don't know why you suddenly did this, but I will never change what I have decided. I will not follow anyone, including you." Rumble. Luo Yao's aura soared. Her demonic eyes were cold, and a terrifying oppressive feeling overturned the sky, completely suppressing Lin Chun. "If that's the case, then I can only forcibly control your consciousness and take you away." The current Luo Yao was many times stronger than when she was seriously injured in the sacred burial mountain range. Her injuries seemed to have completely recovered, and with a thought, Lin Chen's sacred dragon could not move. "Then come and try it. I guarantee you won't even be able to get my corpse." Lin Chen's eyes were deep. Even though he could not move, the sacred dragon's body began to burn with orange flames. That was the sign of activating the absolute life and death talent. Luo Yao had seen it before. Luo Yao was silent. Although Lin Chun could not see her true appearance, he could still feel her inner turmoil. Finally, when she looked at Lin Chun again, her eyes were incomparably cold. She slowly raised her slender hand. The pressure on Lin Chun suddenly increased, and the demonic seal on her palm began to surge with violent demonic energy. It rushed straight to his head and into his spiritual sea, trying to forcibly control Lin Chun. On the contrary, Lin Chun calmed down. His tone was somewhat cold. "I risked my life to save you last time, and this is how you repay me." Luo Yao Er's delicate hand stiffened and her heart was in a mess. She couldn't help but coldly scold. Is it so difficult to follow me? Power, strength, status, lifespan. If you follow me, you can obtain these things with a flip of your hand. Why are you so stubborn? You're the stubborn one. Lin Shen sneered. Can't you see what kind of person I am? The beautiful woman's body trembled. What was he like? He wasn't even afraid of the will of the gods, so how could he control his will? Even if he could, after being controlled, would he still be the person she wanted? However, she didn't know why, but she couldn't let him go. Every time she recalled the scenes in the holy burial mountain range, her heart would always ache with anticipation. I really want to take you away from here. Suddenly, Lin Shun felt the pressure of the demonic seal on his palms slowly dissipate, and the demonic energy receded like a tide. Luo Yao lowered her hand and lifted her cloak. Lin Shun was slightly stunned, although he had seen Luo Yao Er's appearance and temperament. When he saw her again, it was still breathtaking. Her fine black hair was like a waterfall, and her eyebrows were beautiful. Her nose was delicate, and her snow-white skin outlined her perfect and holy beauty. She was like a goddess from the highest heavens, but her eyebrows were dotted with cinnabar, and when she smiled, she was as charming as a witch. The pure and holy face of a celestial fairy and the extremely charming temperament of a witch, the two perfectly coexisted, as if she were the most unique beauty in the world. The corners of her eyes flashed with tears, but she smiled sweetly, her smile stunning all things in the world. In the end, I still can't harden my heart and kill you. Lin Shen, I have to leave. Thank you for letting me have a good dream. Lin Shun was startled. He could feel that the always cold and indifferent Luo Yao seemed to have the weakness of a young girl for the first time. Lin Shen took a deep breath. Where are you going? Luo Yao turned around, her back like a painting, like a dancing goddess. She stepped into the air and softly said, I have to go to a very distant world. I will forget everything. Lin Shen's heart inexplicably tightened. He stared at Luo Yao Er's departing back and suddenly shouted out, If you are in danger next time, I will protect you again. The beautiful woman's body trembled. As her tears fell, she giggled. Idiot, take care of yourself. Lin Shun suddenly leapt into the air. He reached out and grabbed the beautiful woman's back, turning her into a wisp of smoke. When I was born, you weren't born. When you were born, I was already dead. I hope that in this life, you will never forget me. The woman's resentful sigh echoed in the sky. Lin Shen stood in the same place for a long time. He was like a block of wood on the mountain peak. The cold wind whistled. After an unknown period of time, he suddenly slapped his forehead. Oh my God, it's almost time for the preliminaries. I have to go back quickly. Lin Shen slapped the peach blossom plant pouch. Little Shadow turned into a thick and big black dragon and roared. Little guy, it's your turn to perform. Lin Shen grabbed Little Shadow's little tail. Purple lightning flashed above Little Shadow's head. Woohoo Shadow, I'm gonna fly, Sangyu World Tower. Today was the last day of registration for the preliminaries. It was said to be the last day, but in reality, the registration had already been completed. For such a grand event, not many people would be absent until the last minute. Which genius did not arrive early to prepare for the preliminaries? On the second floor, the registration elder sat with his legs crossed. He drank Baguio wine and ate melon seeds. He held a book called A Million Postures Encyclopedia and read it with great interest. The elder did not pay attention to what was going on around him. He only focused on reading the book. There was a saying that went, there is a house of gold in a book. There is a handsome face in a book. There is also a handsome stand-up in a book. Look, what's that? Suddenly, many saints on the second floor of the World Tower narrowed their eyes. They sensed a strange phenomenon thousands of miles away. Tens of thousands of miles away, a crack was instantly torn open in the clouds. It was a blazing wave that was moving at an extremely fast speed. Like an aurora, it fell straight toward the boundary tower. Some of the saints on the second floor could not help but stop. When I looked out of the window, they could not help but gasp. It was a shooting star. At the center of the meteor, there was actually an aurora arrow that was moving at an outrageous speed. No, no, look, what's that? There's a person standing on that arrow. All the saints were stunned. There was a figure standing in front of the arrow. The arrow traveled thousands of miles and shot outside the second floor of the World Tower. Bang! Boom! The World Tower was extremely sturdy. Although the arrow was powerful, it could not shake it at all. It only exploded into fragments of arrow light. Damn it! Who is interrupting my study? Who dares to attack my World Tower? How dare you? The elder whose study was interrupted angrily lifted his loose belt and cursed. Amidst the dust and smoke caused by the explosion of the arrow light, a young figure appeared. His laughter spread throughout the second floor of the World Tower. Countless geniuses were stunned. A handsome arrow. Thousands of handsome men have come to meet me. I'm Jiang. Oh no, I'm Linchin from the Black Horse Club. I'm here to sign up for the Monster Ranking Reserve competition. After saying that, Lin Feng waved his hand, and 3 Demon Genius List candidate tokens shot toward the elder who was learning just now. One of the Saint Realm geniuses gasped. He came over on the arrow? Chapter 1240. There were 3 dragon steels in the air. The dragon steels were ancient and filled with dragon carvings. They released silver spatial power that seemed to connect the heavens and move the stars. Suddenly, the dragon steels lit up and many figures descended. Everyone, why are you so shocked? Didn't you go to pay attention to the 10,000 dragon gathering? Why have you returned so quickly? The dragon steels flickered and a calm voice came out. A faint dragon roar echoed in the air, and the dragon's might shook the surroundings. It was an almost invincible will. It was as if the owner of this voice could change the world with a single thought. Reporting to Grand Elder, a female demon appeared in the 10,000 dragon gathering. She has a demonic saber that can devour time and space. In the darkness, the 2 figures that returned said in a trembling voice, It's suspected to be the demon empress. Demonic saber, heaven slashing, what? The voice that was deep and unfathomable a moment ago actually panicked for an instant. That woman took away the rising star mentioned in our report. The 2 of us didn't have time to descend. The 2 continued to report and briefly described the situation in the 10,000 dragon gathering. The voice on the dragon steels asked very seriously, Are you sure her goal is only to take away this child? The 2 in the darkness looked at each other and said with certainty, It should be. With her strength, if she wants to charge into the various races of the great desolate continent, we can't stop her. The dragon steels were silent for a long time before saying, Search for news of the new Azure Dragon King closely, but don't alarm her. There's no need to offend such an enemy for a junior. I need to report this matter to the desolate ancient dragon race personally. I'll leave the rest to you. After saying that, the dragon steel resumed its eternal silence. The 2 of them sighed faintly and disappeared in a flash. Inside the 10,000 dragon gathering, all the dragons were still in shock after the previous accident. When the final prize was given out, the Azure Dragon race took the Azure Dragon flag and left with endless glory. The first place reward of the representative competition went to the Azure Dragon race. The reward of the king of 10,000 dragons and the special reward of the honorable dragon race was enough to transform the entire Azure Dragon race. Adding on the upper echelon of the Azure Dragon race that had been baptized in the Dragon Tomb and Mu Tianqing, who had a peak grade 7 bloodline, the Azure Dragon race's future was at least a peak ancient dragon race. Would a new king be all right? The first elder asked worriedly as the Azure Dragon clan members returned to their own territory. No, he's fine. Mu Tianqing spread out the jade pendant in her palm, her eyes full of hope. He gave me the jade pendant in advance. He must have expected this day, or he was prepared to leave. There was also the Azure Dragon Pearl that Lin Shun had given her. It was made from the purple dragon pearl that he had obtained in the first trial. It could be used to strengthen the elder's bloodlines, and, at the same time, it could also sense the life and death of its master. In the entire dragon clan, only Mu Tianqing knew that the current new king was very safe. Is this the path you left for me? I will break through and show you. Mu Tianqing held the azure dragon pearl tightly, while a wisp of unswerving determination surged onto her cold and beautiful face. She knew why the new king called himself the future Dragon King from the very beginning. He had never wanted to be the Azure Dragon King. The second level of the Boundary Tower. The elder raised his hand and grabbed 3 streams of light. They were the candidate tokens for the preliminary round of the monster rankings. Oh, Lin Shun from the Black Horse Club? The elder's eyes flashed. You're the Lin Shun who caused a ruckus in the sacred Burial Mountain range and danced on the Holy King's grave? Lin Shun flipped his hair and chuckled. That's right. You can also call me the most handsome person in the sacred boundary. I'm a very low-key person. Yes, that's the shameless smell. I can't be wrong. The elder beamed with joy. He picked up the brush and scurried away, taking Lin Chen's name and the candidate token. With a flick of his palm, a red light shuttled back and forth. Lin Chen held the red light. It was a red jade slip. Go to the 3rd level of the Boundary Pagoda. The preliminary round is about to begin. Your name will be entered into a random draw. Go up quickly, or you'll be eliminated. You can't travel through space in the Boundary Pagoda. You have to hurry. The elder stroked his beard and smiled. Lin Shun cupped his fists and smiled. Many thanks, elder. I'm going to fly. Lin Chen's figure flickered, and he shot up to the 3rd level. Only then did the true Saint Realm geniuses and Holy Kings react. He's Lin Shun? Oh my god, I finally saw him in person today. F***CK, he's really handsome. He has both potential and strength. Why is the heavens so unfair? Why is this different from what I've heard? Didn't I hear that this Lin Shun is incomparably ugly, ferocious, and has 3 heads and 6 arms? Nonsense. Can you not listen to such rumors? This young master is the first freak in history to refine pills with his gaze. I've heard that several hidden grade 6 alchemy families and sects have come out to recruit him. The candidate rankings meeting is going to explode. He exploded 9 acupoints in a row, toyed with a holy king, and fought a dozen 4th heaven true saints alone. F***CK. Who among these geniuses can compete with him? It's hard to say that he's borrowing external strength. It's not completely his own cultivation. The stronger the strength, the greater the price he has to pay. The moment Lin Shen appeared, it instantly caused a heated discussion among the experts in the entire Realm Tower. The only difference this time was that it had been 7 months since the Holy Burial Mountain range. Even the boundless sacred boundary, there were many experts who had come into contact with Lin Shun. During these 7 months, Lin Shen's various experiences, legends, stories, and secrets in the Saint's world, including the few women he had come in contact with, had all been completely dug up by some peak forces. The only thing missing was the color of his underwear. There were even experts who secretly sent envoys to the Iceheart Palace to befriend him. There were even people who brought their daughters to the White Dragon Gate to propose marriage. That's right, they were all trying to rope in Lin Shun. This was because Lin Shun could be said to be the one and only weirdo throughout the ages. In the sacred boundary, every peerless genius had their own background and experience. They were either recruited into a top sect, ancient family, or giant force. The birth of every genius was accompanied by abundant resources, cultivation's secret realms, miraculous opportunities, top-notch cultivation techniques, and the guidance of famous teachers. Not a single factor could be missing. All of these factors required the support of a powerful force. No matter how talented an ordinary genius was, if they didn't have a powerful background and the support of a sect, just a top-notch cultivation technique would take a lot of time and effort to obtain, not to mention other ways to become stronger. Only Lin Chen was different. His background was a blank piece of paper. No matter how powerful a force was, there would only be one result after an investigation. This kid was born in the mortal world. Moreover, he didn't belong to any force. It was a F*King Black Horse Club, and it was created by this kid himself. Without any forces, he had roamed the sacred boundary alone and killed his way from the Combat Emperor realm to the monstrous geniuses list in a little over a year. He was a freaking monster. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.